PhD nebo. Okay. Na Nhyira FM. Yani Ejimo akabum. Ah, ye dey rep your Jesse. Ejimo ya. Yetre ya. Ejimo.
First name be one name is a friend
Semenshia mo no. Aha. Susanso ya.
Top high.
Nhyira FM yetre ya. Enti eda no anopa du ba ko na. Ne di dwumadi no ye de ahyehyɛ so.
Okay.
Enti o de wo ba just hye.
Yeah.
Club bi a support bi a no. So just ne for bra. O ye Arsenal fan so Arsenal Jesse. O ye PhD ni anu aso de aba because we say asu supporters ne de.
Yeah.
Do na beba. So to de wo ba no aso Jesse. And all the club bi a support bi a no. O ba so anya nkwa na so ba.
Okay.
Aha, oni area boys and the girls mu dina mo nkada mo pebo so bia nche ne Jesse na omra Ejimo ye ne Ejimo na kabuma ye di dwumadi e de eba so na activations bebre ya be chenie ma bebre a lot of giveaways ukofia utie ya obetu anya TV betu anya sound system nom in fact niema bebre iron home appliances bebre ye be che no ho e bi e cash so ntu unfi dwumadi na so no asane se wo be giwani abehwe ball na awoni Nhyira passport na e de commentary sa de awuwu mu no obekofie no na usan ekura chede a ode eko enti eye Nhyira FM and Ejimo ana kabuma ye de rep your Jesse so Jesse na for bra na inina no yemfa UEFA Champions League final no emfa esesu ti kofi wo ba be Jesse ade bremo kopim sadumi enu bebo ene entena na yemfa eye fisam ne amane nsama ya bobo no adifi agudam nsam no emfa emra make us say live our YouTube Nhyira TV oba na wa subscribe channel no dia mame uwia ja message no ho garbage dia be come na ya ba messages out do mo dia ba ni nyina no ya be kan enso etimi edi amamtinya radio nkwa na betimati I've had YouTube there ocean live na no na o sign 18 dia koso ha bia no obetimi ahwe enso awo eye ofro no enso so ntia mamu ni na che damase anopai for chosen Nhyira passports na anansam no doso asejo Lionel Messi they among for say 2026 if I walk up nyame adoma enche be koso awo America ne Canada no no arante obetimi akobobi anda ontimi nkobobi there's update I feel Lionel Messi asoye at the eba and Hansi Flick akoye interview na interview no nsam so ha and so yedimu enkomo nyina no ede bedamo aba Premier League title race no dana emu eye de because no the standing game na eda ho no Man City champion sama Crystal Palace omo entimi antia and so nkomo awa ha of course Inter so the Coppa Italia e de so na so enra after beating Lazio akaminu omo entimi anti now ready medical be catch them so Europa 5 major leagues no na you decide mu 3 2 na kano na the Premier League and the French League and French League no mo so decide omo dia omo enya winner in Paris Saint-Germain and omo so share length akaminu omo so entimi antia anin sampi ebe free amanene aba ene anopay na yabefia bedi fie nso nkomo bebre na the 24th African Athletics Championship akoso University of Ghana Legon stadium hono etifo negatives in the doors in fact na day 3 na osha so far a reporter the media announcing central for and so edema wiati na it seems as a Ghana avenue that say answer that why you said your problems no a yard doso it be a feeding accommodation logistics so and yema babuama competition no etimi ay successful it seems as a yema and so entimi anko ntia dia no betum na ya hwensenseni bi in fact empanifo I be on mama be patch omo say problems ni bi on ma omo rectify going forward yen e biema nyina na wonsam ha others ni bi so complaining about said medical cano feeding aduane krombedi omo say nama eda so sebi o de ma sebio penifon fancheme aboa kra bia only sa aduane no akofa nsɛmpi ɛde abani na no yɛde ya no ɛde ɛbetum GPR 2026-2027 nyame ɛyɛ adoma asesei yɛde di nkɔma na promotion and demotion so ohwɛ afi league na already 2 teams de yinim sɛ de ya ɔmo ɛkɔ akaba ko a ɔno no bɛka ho na sɛ 3 ni free ma I will say nya 3 ɔmo so bɛnya promotion from the division 1 na ɔmo bɛsia kan in the Premier League na already ni nya FC Ashanti Gold 04 and 04 na ɔmo di kan nya qualification positive of course no ɔmo so no nya ɔmo the latest club and a team nya qualification ɛno ya WB United ɔmo so awo wanchi ene nimpotem and after beating Tamale City kamiensa omo take no back no amomo enya the opportunity anya me adom so no league no mo eba bobi ana 17 AFCON ina no nsem ha Black Starlet omo nsem yakoba na yabedi san komuni nyina no enso awo dwumadie so this are many more and na for ya tenasia Thursday edition of Nhyira Digital Passports ya bobo ni nyina no na yedi ebremo Gabi the foreigner. Akosi good morning.
Good morning.
Pacho na want to say
nyame adom me ho ya pa.
Yede nyame ase. Ano pay me ba office. And I mean say Nhyira FM rep your Jesse no.
Okay.
In fact the obaba en oh yeah. Rep your Jesse. Wa maybe no.
Dia wa ma no.
Say wa maybe.
Okay.
Obeya ho papa. Because some activations na be na but nyama na be chane day no the giveaways na
CCB so nyama
easy make us say Nasco abeso asene
okay
na Nasco say eda no be chane nyama bebre na Nasco de
omo TV omo fridge omo kettle omo ewo air fryer
in fact the ban home appliances there
bibia wo
and Nasco for will be
and we tie ya wo sabetimi aka TV
sure
ada 32 inches and say bia 40
now person wonya bia
wo de wa
there say we nie on say e rep your Jesse me patro tilie so person wonya achede ni bia first of all ba ade e qualify wo I betimi am standing the chance to get Sanya me be be a Jesse.
Okay.
So one said Jesse ama yemma obi.
So Jesse no is it between Arsenal and PSG
Arsenal and on the Paris Saint-Germain bo final. But the only say what the old bar club will be our support to Jesse will be
okay. And to just say you benya mufti wo.
Oh yeah.
Club our support.
Club will be our support to be but don't say we know I Champions League final. It is all your Arsenal fan pa na nyame adom on the 30th wa ma kan share fam ho na yanko LG more anya commentary and repu Jesse answer support to team and na onya Arsenal ni papa
see any problem bi o PSG for no say ya Premier League na we la friendly Ghana ya de enkofo na press on mejo mo de say Arsenal ayi for City for no ada gab na ya 3 points pe ento mo na wo problem any problem dia wa na isi ya so de ya training kakra bi ni ada ye be ma boys na rest ya on the 30th on the 30th no kwa na Arsenal
but ya yo mo enti de tia no say nyame adom e twensa de fo bia
so bia
we bia woni je club football ho a the UEFA Champions League final no in Sheffield yene LG mo akabum
either so by 12 near sack
yes 12 pam to wuntie ye if you 12
born here no 9 4 p.m.
Mo shata
born here 4 p.m. but UEFA Champions League na ye born anwumre no we no enya anwumre biem we are no 9 ma men kan say we are no 9 ana ye bo game nti ye LG mo ha ye betena say either so 12 na ya tena say na ya sa activations na se would we just bank ani ye hu kwa de a ye ni timi ball so kra keke na ye de wa tell first come first help and ya na test
it will ba on the squad mra so
of course
I will ban one fresh boys ni na no bia share Jesse rep your Jesse na in na no yemfa the UEFA Champions League final no emfa enhye so enti so ye PSG fana asufo no obi an share Jesse mra Arsenal for no so mon shamo de in fact club bia me say me ba me Jesse mienu me Manchester de no e wase so na me the Arsenal de no e de agusuro that metimi de aba enti I want some ntedu anu repe 30th of this month ya Nhyira FM Real Jesse live at the LG Mall enti na ne lezimiam na edu ayemfa eni mfanchirim awo LG Mall pamchao ya kwamene ni aba
bema wo junso ni mu pai ebikam eyawo eni
say ye kwa kohwe Champions League
ai
o duro na ka cho
Jesse abeshe
de mi Jesse ko
okay and Jesse ma ho
me Jesse ba
mfa ma ho
mi
team na gu
mi fa Chelsea Jesse
ti perfo no fa bra opa meet me Man City Jesse and I'll pay the TV. Me man red TV.
Chelsea you playing United 18 years in Champions League.
And have you read the one?
Oh yeah.
Have you boom from
my boy home now.
Oh ya boom.
Like this season.
Ya boom.
This out.
Ya boom.
I am saying.
What you say?
Nti an be so ka say an.
What me say yen?
Ma say.
Nti ya fe di asem bi.
Nti and I'm say this is ya o ka say.
Also Chelsea ni ko yin no rep Jesse one pa u ko fimi ka be ka so message Chelsea Jesse aba
Paris Saint-Germain abo ma Chelsea Jesse maybe you got more friend rep Jesse is for Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain fans oh yeah Man United na go cheva o Champions League 18 years ni win bi
sa na wa dwen yo
o eno kre ya ro create you team go share United Jesse fan
me too
which and then you in Europe it is essentially one of the biggest concurrent nights of football ever cost to Europe in terms of the league decision in England, Italy, and France, and also a cup decider, especially in Italy. And three separate matches were on. So we investor, and so we share our matches because those are the games, and then it will have a huge implication on the Abekoso in the next few days or the respective leagues. And we'll start with Manchester City against Crystal Palace. In the English Premier League tables, they say that here, Mikel Arteta 79 points with Arsenal, Josep Guardiola 74 points. Obviously, one game in hand for Josep. Then, if you go to the bottom of the leagues, Oshe Obitise Torian Moss for 38 points, and of course, Nuno Espirito Santo in West Ham United with 36 points. In the lead up to Timo Betinia came league, but there is Man City versus Crystal Palace. Pep Guardiola say, since Oba English Premier League, we are losing 2 FA Cup titles. 2 FA Cup titles because one year Medjuma. Nani also our West Ham. Some nights in the VAR team in the for him, he has never trusted VAR. Never trusted anybody. Because on one argument, born on any team born every year they have to be better. They don't need to trust anybody. This is what Pep says. We lost the 2 FA Cup finals because the referees didn't do their jobs. They should have. Even the VAR. I never trust anything since I arrived a long time ago. Always, I learned you have to do it better. Do it better. Be in a position to do it better because you blame yourselves with what you have to do because VAR is a flip of a coin. I agree with Josep Guardiola 100%.
So I disagree with him.
Tell me why you disagree with Pep.
Was it baby? I may disagree with him. Oh, Kofi, me my class way. Football club be anywhere. Decision. Decision be our food. Oh, wait dear. Sadly, we part the next and say, "Enko be man that." No club in this world.
Okay.
What I say? So 10 now be catching and say, oh, I have Vantina FA Cup final, you'll be bent to me, Angia. I don't know what's it when the time they be called a man or no. So happened the North Vanity. There be decisions are one cast out train to say, so decision we part the next and Kukutia City. But a call in favor of A City. Sabeno. Yeah, Pep Guardiola all catching and say, oh, Van mean jindy back. But could tell us one jindy.
Great. Which many Pep are 100% and I disagree with you. See, some of fair statements. No. Football club Ben boy do maybe especially or top level decisions come and that is why Pep is saying what he's saying. Pep says that VAR is a flip of coin. Essentially, you can say a chance. It's only coach Juana Oyero. His plan is to do better. So we are not sure four because when you say there's a point in the game, if the decision now come, Ibiana Kwama. So he's not saying that on the day Arsenal ball name foul and I name foul. See Daddy. He is talking about the and almost every analyst in this country talks about the inconsistencies of the English Premier League refereeing. Because it's a flip of a coin. You are not certain. There is no uncertainty. It's either the head or the tail. It's on one there. On your 4 versus 4. He will not wait till last minute. No one should go on for Tiano, now for me. And I think I
was expecting this from Pep. When decision be an any Coma City, Comano, Satan Ness and Cobacami.
That's exactly what he's saying today.
A Cotian in Walker.
Oh no, I say no, Cano. On Castle Jinaha and Ojinaha. Also, no, not you. It's a flip of a coin.
And then FA Cup trophy.
Exactly. To him.
So he needs or complaining because of who's a decision now come.
Yes, but everybody also complains. Arsenal Korea, they sit there and things have gone on well for them. They were at the good side of the VAR. There are times they've complained. What Pep is saying, can't say VAR yet, and as I say, he doesn't trust. On funny remember say VAR and a referee because when you say ne, even they are referee GT no channel about German. Even they are referee German about GT. So in his mind, he will prepare to do better. Instead of focusing on VAR. And I think that every footballer, every football team should focus on all of these things. That is the thing. Obia do communicate about the inconsistencies of it. Whether you were at the good side yesterday or at the bad side today, it doesn't still take away the fact that there's been inconsistency. They're mutually exclusive. They can always work hand in hand, and that's exactly what the Pep Guardiola like. Which I think say Crystal Palace don't really have anything in itself to fight for the rest of the season. So to you, Liver Glass now, say, I looked at my pay slips. I didn't get any money from Arsenal or City. It's only will be a favor of a body match. That is what he wants to do at the club. The thing is that, as Crystal Palace, is here, their biggest focus is on the Conference League final. Maybe today they want to play the game and try to get something out of it. But idea if we will play a Conference League final, I don't see how Crystal Palace must stop City at the Etihad. I think City wins it. Albeit, who invest and I'll be careful. Maybe the many goals now open up, but I think the City everything I share and then you may at the Etihad and then close in with Arsenal to a few more points. It's a Coppa Italia final. And Inter Chelsea you are born 3-0. Now, Mauricio Sarri threatening Lazio for say, obviously we judge Manoko. And Lazio for say they will to watch because so share on top of the Italian Serie A teams or one. Team young Tom and Unkra, not the average age any or very old players. Mauricio Sarri Lazio team, which they don't have young players at all. The likes of Pedro are still in the Lazio team. Mattia Zaccagni are still in the team. And Mauricio Sarri, when they say, as it stands now, if you compare that to Inter, compare that to AC Milan, compare that to Roma, or even Atalanta, something very interesting has happened for Lazio this season. Anytime we are Lazio, the big boys, Italian Serie A, or even in any Italian competition, they tend to make it difficult for them. On the 5th of December 2025, this season, Oshe Milan 1-0, Eufi. Then on the 4th of January 2026, Olusi 2-0 to Napoli over them. Then on the 16th of March, Oshe Milan did 1-0. Then on the 18th of April, Oko to Naples, Oshe Napoli 2-0. And on the Atalanta for Kobo 1-1 in the lead up to against the Coppa Italia final. For Team Refano Internazionale Milan, it has been a good run. Which only say two teams. The Obeji and Nebiaro will be on the verge of history. Lazio GI to be their 8th title. So Inter Milan GI is going to be their 10th Coppa d'Italia title. Or Italian Serie A. Now, Enche and 3-0. It's a game that I think will come down to the wing play. Who's under Christian Kibu? It's a 3-5-2, but a little bit slightly expansive. There is Manolo Conji, Yohan Bisek, and Bastoni as the back three. Then those that give them the weight, from Federico Di Marco and branch friend Denzel Dumfries. We're expecting that Taram is going to feature in the game with Lautaro Martinez. Then Piotr Zielinski, Barella and branch friend Susic, our parking fee. Now if you look at Dumfries, any Abentia, your friend Federico Di Marco, they keep the weight. In the team, your friend of large, the weight comes from 2 players. Usually, Abentia friend Pedro. Then on the left hand side, of course, Nuno Tavares and making a lot of runs to keep the weight. On the other side, Adam Morisic will keep the weight for them. With Patrick Mo, then of course Abentia friend Tijani Moslin. Not a strong team. At the Stadio de Olimpico, Inter have what it takes. I think at best, last week we made me push on the mark extra time. But the Inter are a very good team, and it looks like a team who made here winning. They go into the game as huge favorites, and I think that they are going to win it. French Ligue 1, I think for a very long time, this is the closest that's probably come since OGC in these days. But OGC needs have been very stubborn. Which 3 points between the two. OGC needs 1 more game ahead of Paris Saint-Germain. So Paris Saint-Germain to mission now, essentially the league is gone away from OGC needs. So OGC needs a shot. They would hope that Paris Saint-Germain next game on Bebono, they get some favors from elsewhere to still get a chance at winning the competition. But now, almost change Abentia friend Usman Dembele in the Mantiano. You remember say on Friday, match, they won a game via the solitary goal off the boot of a 16-year-old boy free bench just about 70 seconds into the game. And Abentia any team ever share goal my team, your friend OGC needs also giving him. It's almost team. And share any team but I remember that 3-3 draw board the last time against Alger or Z. It is the physicality and the willingness to constantly chase the game. Although we don't know that from there, but constantly almost recycle, play, almost try to make critique chance no match goes no. And all the boy OGC in his team, it is Abentia friend Malang Sarr, formerly of Chelsea. Then Samuel Beidou, Robin Ressier, Ismail Ganiu, Abdullah Sima, Andre Thomason, Mamadou Sangare, Mathieu Udol, Alan Saint-Maxim, Hudson Edouard, and Abentia friend Florent Thauvin. In fact, front three is very exciting. Hudson Edouard, formerly of Crystal Palace, a French international, knows the league very well. Alan Saint-Maxim also played the French League 1 before, came to Newcastle, went to Saudi Arabia, and has come back to France. And of course, Florent Thauvin at some point in time was the poster boy of French football. At some point in time on back top, he was one of the big names on him. And these are parts of the front three. Paris Saint-Germain when they play at home against their friend Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain essentially go back to a team on Marestic Accra. Seni Mario Lumo coming, Elia Zabani, Marquinhos, Lucas Hernandez, Fabian Duri, Bernardo, John Neves, Desire Gay, Usman Dembele, and Ivica Kvaratskhelia. I think the goals will come. My biggest bet in this game, a draw no bet for Paris Saint-Germain, Elsa matching, and most likely a goal for each side. I think that's a game that Paris Saint-Germain, although away from home, can at least get 1 point and then stay in it for the French Ligue 1 and see how the subsequent games go. Barcelona have won 100 points, any 100 goals. That was Paris La Liga team also. Now, any of my biggest motivation as it stands now, or Spanish La Liga name. But so if you table also, which EBA or Spanish La Liga table where you saw, you see that Deportivo Alaves know that match a bit now. Barcelona essentially have won the Spanish La Liga. Now almost I'm opening and now in front of Mundo Deportivo, Oko in front of Sport. Every Barcelona pro paper almost say, oh, they want 100 points. They want 100 points. But essentially, Oma and you're very careful. The hangover from the extra celebration makes my cost you match. And they ought to be very, very careful. And it's a match I'm predicting say another draw no bet for Barcelona. And of course, you can also go for your goals else I match or either team to win and over 1.5 for the games because you're on. And now, Florentino Perez is from which I have this to say. Who's the two clubs, Barcelona and Madrid, are all the real embodiment of traditional clubs in Europe. The Bayern Munichs, the Dortmunds, the Madrids, the Barcelonas, c'est un traditional club. These are the traditional clubs. Now, for Barcelona and Madrid, they are traditional clubs in its entirety because only a clubs are essentially their club is decided by the socials. The members are only supporters of Football Club Barcelona and Madrid. You know, vote who leads the club, and then essentially make sure say at the end of the day, club decision will be taken on what their interests are. For a lot of the people, the reason why these two clubs are successful is because of the socials. Which Barcelona, whilst Florentino Perez has been at Madrid for a very long time, from the early 2000s coming, Barcelona have changed presidents. From Sandro Rosell, Juan Laporta 1, Juan Laporta 2, Jose Maria Bartomeu, they've had constant changes. But Madrid following one president for the longest time. In all of that, so much for Florentino Perez, he has had success with that longevity now when he was our club. But in recent times, especially 2 seasons, things have not gone on well. And now take Florentino Perez, I say, for a president like myself, I've been voted the best president in football. 2 seasons, Penyaman Koye, it tells how well he has run Football Club of Madrid. Barcelona wants to say, he has been a dictator, and of course, in saying Barcelona, when I'm talking about the position of Florentino Perez, I say he's a dictator of club. He has been there for too long. Only 3 years, be competing. I say, why yet too big? Yes, the democracy is there, but for them, they take pride in the fact that even one Laporta crown, yes, why yet Jumacrano. When we say we will be able to go to Abano, we told you small nature with TPS and Massa. We want to compete you. Football Club Barcelona have been successful in these last 2 seasons than Madrid. But no chase Madrid is a bad run club. And no chase Madrid should change everything that they've been doing. I think that they have to be tweaked kakra. Except for Florentino Perez, tweaking Yoma kakra, how they go about things, the kind of manager that they will bring in, and then the plan going forward, very, very important. Say, on the say Jumana or Honor. It's rich. Mami first smile. Na ene Coppa Italia matches no EP or near the other matches no. Mema on with T4 coach na Monfonko Fikesiem and Conco enjoy the rich. On the first code no BW 55 AC 96D6. Second one BW 55 AC 7A14. Third one BW 55 AC 5DE3. Fourth one BW 55 AC 40B6. Fifth one BW 55 AC 3137. And the last one BW 55 AC0DD7.
Ovi, that's it. Espoba, ni PhD na ebo.
Okay.
Na Nhyira FM. Yeni Ejimo akabum. Ye dey rep your jersey. Ejimo ya. Ye tire ya. Ejimo.
First name be one name is a friend Semenshia.
Semenshia mo no. Aha.
Oh, Susan so ya.
Susan so ya.
Top high.
Top high ya. Nhyira FM ye tire ya. Enti eda no anopedu ba ko na. Na di dwumadi no ye de ahyehyɛ so.
Okay.
Enti o de wo ba just hye.
Yeah.
Club bia support bia no. So just in for bra. Oye Arsenal fan so Arsenal jersey. Oye PG ni anu aso de aba because we say asu supporters ni de. Do na beba so to the oba no aso jersey. And all the club bia support bia no. Oba so anya nkwa na so oba. Aha, oni area boys and girls mu dina mo nkana mo pebo so bia nche ni jersey. Na omra Ejimo ye ne Ejimo na kabuma. Ye di dwumadi e de eba so na activations bibri be cheniema bibri a lot of giveaways ukofia utie ya obetu anya TV betu anya sound system no in fact niema bibri iron home appliance bibri ye be che no ho e be cash so into unfridge medie na so no asase wo beju ani abɛhwɛ bɔ na awoni nhyira passports na ɛde commentaries ade awurawura mu no wobɛkɔ fie no na wosan ekura kyɛde a ɔde ɛkɔ enti ɛyɛ nhyira fam ɛne LG mo ana kabuma yɛde rep your jersey show jersey na fobra na indina no yɛmfa UEFA Champions League final no ɛmfa ɛhyɛ so nti kofi wo ba bɛhyɛ jersey bɛn
sɛ yɛkɔ akɔhwɛ Champions League final ɔbɛduru ɔnaka kyerɛ
jersey abɛhyɛ
mi jersey ko
okay ɛnhyɛ Chelsea jersey ma ho
mi jersey ba
ɛmfa ma ho team na gu
mi fa Chelsea jersey
nti pɛ foforɔ no fa bra opa mi tuma Man City jersey and I'll pay the nibi. Me man red nibi.
Chelsea good player United 18 years in Champions League.
And have you read the one?
What do
have you boom from
Maboy home now?
Oh, ya boom.
Like this season.
Ya boom.
This out.
Ya boom.
I am saying.
What you say?
And beso ka say and.
What me say yen?
Ma say.
Nti ya fe di asem bi.
Nti and I'm say this season ya o ka say.
Also Chelsea nin ko yin no rep your jersey one pa u ko fimi ka be ka so message Chelsea jersey aba
Paris Saint-Germain abo ma ka Chelsea jersey maybe you got more friend rep your jersey is for Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain fans oh yeah Man United na go cheva o Champions League 18 years ni unyi bi
sa na wa dwen yo
o eno kre ero crazy you team go share United jersey fan
me too
which and then you in Europe it is essentially one of the biggest concurrent nights of football ever course of Europe in terms of the league decision in England, Italy, and France, and also a cup decider, especially in Italy. And three separate matches were on man. So we investor, it's all our matches because those are the games, and then and it will have a huge implication on the Abekoso in the next few days or the respective leagues. And we'll start with Manchester City against Crystal Palace. In the English Premier League tables, they say it here. Mikel Arteta 79 points with Arsenal. Josep Guardiola 74 points. Obviously, one game in hand for Josep. Then if you go to the bottom of the league, sir, Oshe Obitise Torian Hotspur 38 points, and of course, Nuno Espirito Santo in West Ham United 36 points. In the lead up to Timo Betinia came league, but there is Man City versus Crystal Palace. Pep Guardiola say, since Oba English Premier League, we are losing 2 FA Cup titles. 2 FA Cup titles because one year Meduma. Nanye Koso our West Ham. Some nights in the VAR team and for him, he has never trusted VAR. Never trusted anybody. Because on one argument, born on any team, born every year they have to be better. They don't need to trust anybody. This is what Pep says. We lost the 2 FA Cup finals because the referees didn't do their jobs. They should have. Even the VAR. I never trust anything since I arrived a long time ago. Always, I learned you have to do it better. Do it better. Be in a position to do it better because you blame yourselves with what you have to do because VAR is a flip of a coin. I agree with Josep Guardiola 100%.
So I disagree with him.
Tell me why you disagree with Pep.
Also, baby, I may disagree with him. Oh, Kofi, me my cousin way. Football club be anywhere. Decision. Decision be our food. Oh, wait there. Sadly, we part the next and KC. Go be man that. No club in this world.
Okay.
What I say? So 10 now be catching and say, oh, I have Valentina FA Cup final, you will be bent to me, Angia. At the end of the soccer. It when the time they be a quadman, no. So I bend the North Vanity. There be decisions are. One cast out train to say, so decision we part the next and Kukutia City. But a in favor of A City. Sabeno. Yenya Pep Guardiola all catching and say, oh, Van mean Jindy back. Well, could tell us one Jindy.
Great. Which many Pep are 100% and I disagree with you. See, some of fair statements. No. Football club, Ben, boy, do maybe especially our top level decisions come, and that is why Pep is saying what to say. Pep says that VAR is a flip of coin. Essentially, you can say a chance. It will only coach a Jumana or yellow. His plan is to do better. So when you're not sure four, because when you say there's a point in the game, if you are a decision now, if you are not Kwama, so he's not saying that on the day Arsenal ball name foul and I foul. See, Daddy, he is talking about the and almost every analyst in this country talks about the inconsistencies of the English Premier League refereeing. Because it's a flip of a coin. You are not certain. There is no uncertainty. It's either the head or the tail. It's on there. On your four. He will not wait till last minute. No one will say go on favor Tiano now for me. And I think
I was expecting this from Pep. When decision behind any sense Coma City, Coma Satan Ness and Kobe.
That's exactly what he's saying today.
A Kotia need to work.
Oh no, I say no cano. On Castle Jinaha and Ojinaha. Also, no, not you. It's a flip of a coin.
Which and FA Cup trophy.
Exactly. To him.
So he needs or complaining because of a decision now come.
Yes, but everybody also complains. As now Korea, they sit there and then things have gone on well for them. They were at the good side of the VAR. There are times they've complained. What Pep is saying, on Castle VAR, and as I say, he doesn't trust. On funny remember say VAR and a referee because when you say ne, even they are referee GT no channel ba be German. Even they no referee German ba be GT no. So in his mind, he will prepare to do better instead of focusing on VAR. And I think that every footballer, every football team should focus on all of these things. That is the thing. Obia do communicate about the inconsistencies of it. Whether you were at the good side yesterday or the bad side today, it doesn't still take away the fact that there's been inconsistency. So and they're mutually exclusive. They can always work hand in hand, and that's exactly what the Pep Guardiola like. Which I think say Crystal Palace don't really have anything in itself to fight for the rest of the season. So to Oliver Glass now say, I looked at my pay slips. I didn't get any money from Arsenal or City. It's only to be a favor of a body match. That is what he wants to do at the club. The thing is that as Crystal Palace was saying, their biggest focus is on the Conference League final. Maybe today they want to play the game and try to get something out of it. But idea if we will play a Conference League final, I don't see how Crystal Palace must stop City at Etihad. I think City wins it. Albeit, we investor now can be careful. Maybe the many goals now open up, but I think the City everything I share and then you may at Etihad and then close in with Arsenal to a few more points. It's a Coppa Italia final. And Chibia Inter Chelsea you are born 3-0. Now Mauricio Sarri threatening Lazio for say obviously we judge Manoko. And Lazio for say they union to us. Because so share on top of the Italian Serie A teams or one. Tima young Tom and Unkra. Not the average age, any or very old players. Mauricio Sarri, Lazio team, which they don't have young players at all. The likes of Pedro are still in the Lazio team. Mattia Zaccagni are still in the team. And Mauricio Sarri, when they say, as it stands now, if you compare that to Inter, compare that to AC Milan, compare that to Roma, or even Atalanta, something very interesting has happened for Lazio this season. Anytime we are Lazio, the big boys, Italian Serie A, or even in any Italian competition, they tend to make it difficult for them. On the 5th of December 2025, this season, Oshe Milan 1-0, Elfi. Then on the 4th of January 2026, Olusu.
What a purple can pay?
Mate purple, but it's Joshua and Kansana met a purple.
Okay.
You see, Champions League final, and someone say about rep your jersey.
Yeah, rep your jersey.
Okay. Maybe probably you will bet me and Matthias here. Argentina in the Champions League final. What are the legitimate factors? A man can focus say Paris Saint-Germain a favorite over Arsenal in the Champions League. Argentina. Because
I'm more all-round team.
Rich, Obiabo Champions League, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this stage in the final,
unbeaten.
Obian to me share no.
Ebiano unshare.
obia ntimi nhye no wahye obia in the run up to the Champions League final over 9 clean sheets. Mami Musa o, the record now Arsenal they got into the Champions League final no. Sanka Paris Saint-Germain hold the same record. And Kobe Beka say Arsenal your favorite chi omo ana. Record now Arsenal they got Champions League final no. Sanka Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, AC Milan, any team fufubi, Chelsea mpo, and I hold the same record say this year's Champions League you know. Obien timi share no 9 clean sheeter. And can someone say Obi a favorite chi omo. Look, the disrespect to Arsenal is too much.
Is it not because of Arsenal history in the Champions League?
Who the history in here? This season they are
you see it was baby history.
And it's like a history inquiry, they will not go on beating. So we hear that. We are not looking at history. We are talking about game Obekoso in this season's tournament. And game Obekoso between two teams. You are doing an analysis to say out of the two teams, you know, when they are favorites. And I make say, and you man when they say two teams come up and you said they are favorites or show. But just to pronounce say we be their favorite, you know. I sound no when you dey. And one of the teams in the final, no, about competition in na ABC Samre Obian team share no. Our 9 clean sheets in the competition. Who's your be a favorite team? Based on the end. Now the have a second and say, just say Paris Saint-Germain your favorite because omu part of my said Chelsea. Who told you Chelsea the standard of the Champions League? I say Chelsea no na. It just say I feel the worst. No. And see, when I Josh Unko, I've heard a lot of people. In fact, majority of your listeners again say in the Champions League final, Paris Saint-Germain is favorite. It is not backed by any analysis in this season's Champions League. There is no team in this 2025-2026 Champions League season our favorite team Arsenal. About Brian Boy Champions League this season, Obienu about Brighton Arsenal. They can be beaten in the final, no problem. But in the topic of why they are favorite, Arsenal is favorite by logic, by BBL. And so if you've analyzed football for a long time, that is the reason why even the supercomputer and the optic are still at 10% Arsenal their favorites, you know, because that they are.
Samu.
Be anywhere negative that point, you know. There is nothing that negates that point. Every Arsenal your favorite team. Every you doubt them. Every you so my that. Every you believe they are buttless. The OGDBR can hold. But the moment all this had the in China, you will look at the face of this season Champions League. Game by game, performance, form, the OBI or Champions League.
Okay, I feel no matter how say. Say this season you didn't come out in the Champions League. But also you see, maybe Ebia me Kasama Josh, but Ebia Josh UEFA Champions League in general. Because I never
Kaba Abani man so etimiko better men so say our the foreign front na ye di tuma kaka better makato say ye tuma dey na live our YouTube handle and to call YouTube no Nhyira TV our YouTube handle kwa na wa subscribe ya na afa won so no notification esu anytime bia ye di video bia betum no won so won sabetumi aka and we to do comment na the bible pem no ye tima kenkan nyina adiama e won chicha wo do so beda me so say e dey fi matches Another etota na oko Premier League na another Manchester City boboko no wom at Crystal Palace e bomatna ba ko entna miensa Crystal Palace boboko no wom sweatmante e game adodo na anso e kan wasam bara me ko Spain na makokodi ayan koba kakra awala La Liga na oko La Liga pato Espanyol Barcelona another Athletic Club Bilbao e bomatna me no mentmante afeso fia we boboko no wom so etna fia Masavia e kwotro bo bomatna miensa wom anso atimu me no na Deportivo Alaves no ata omakwate Barca so mo Barca akwakodi nsenseme na Barca na nkasa de mpato we ya Barcelona fan na se Barca adi league wie se kim na sa de ati na Barca kwakobo game a nya abotre mu amko fikese mu na enkofo na chance o mu di league wie a ene about be 5 cases ni efi be 2016 ni aba wo munya tinkwa de ene se ya no mo ye the next game be na Barca luso entano ada 1 goal ana Deportivo Alaves ade mo ma wo mo so entimante me pato hetefe bobo kono eno ada wo mo so wo so entina miensa ama Real Mallorca wo mo so atimu bako eno ya no ada game toto La Liga me ko friendly Ghana medin koba kakra wo ko friendly Ghana no ada Stade de Brasoa wo mo tena fie ama Strasbourg bobo kono ekoto bo pom ntina mienu a wo mo so atimu bako eno ati no ade ase PS bobo kono wo mo ni RCD Longs game ne etota me ka to se sa game we ne na e decider do betima de friendly Ghana ade ase ne na so ama RCD Longs supporters no ebe ka se obu lusu a ene obia ade ase friendly campaign for na ana person obu lusu game because wo mo twetwe PH wo mo matis ne kokwa ne mampa ye bo game ni wie no na PH aso mo ntira mienu a wo mo nsum antimante entano ye game etota no ada ena no pen mi kete edama ena matis e ho no Valencia wo mo tena fie wo mo ni Rayo Vallecano ana Edisia ni Girona wo mo nsum tena fie wo mo ni Real Sociedad na yenya Madrid wo mo bo Real Oviedo enti we say no akwasi sibo mu no me so mbe ya duma na ya we say bia Madrid nso be bo tabri joy no dia eba e wo tuma dia so na no pen mi kete ediama beta member refisa no da Coppa Italia final no etoto mami was Chris no so Coppa Italia no da Inter and so I was so ntira me no ama ade say Lazio and so entimante onko bako and so ebaye wa bra brancha de Gina di Marosi kono ananya onko ansana Lautaro Martinez ede bako kama niam so kama ede ma Inter bobo kwenti Coppa Italia no enkrofona teniam ya kama mo transa ebia Scudetto no so metimi ante ede so manase no so atimi abo no ya dia free Inter kati edi ababata wo mo coach ani de Christian Chifu papa na ya duma ye pa Romania ni no waba ne first season 2 titles na papa no tasa wati anesa wonsa woko amatasa Siriano kwa wadi awi anesa obi a ene ne print no anu ya Christian Chifu report flow pen akate edi aba e wo duma de so beta woko Premier League ni mu dia Man City France minkantra na for ne se Arsenal na LED table no sisi the table no Man City for the call table no enyo bia nti wu sese ye the table na to ba bia Man City for no wo mo se Arsenal awo 79 ana wo mo City for no awo 77 ana mu bi sa se aka points difference ni yesem and yesu we say ni dia se 72 dia abra tu ya that say aka ntino head anya bia no so okay and you no ye na o mo se yankam mo bia anta Manchester United etoso miensa wo mo 65 points and Liverpool toss 9 womo was 59 and 59 points na bi ekwa Aston Villa womo toss num eno Premier League table na and no pay medi eta na womo di picture bi aba kwabna Antoine Semenyo sa no ada Semenyo ya go eno ada Antoine enya go kama and you see the 16 goals na brante na he na Antoine ne goals ne ba no odi bibi kakra se kwabna wo pese wo tese ade na ya kitwe bi tese ma amene nyum na kitwe bi ana tese Antoine Semenyo so aye na another na no per City wo ko mo platform nyina so mo say ya kitwe bi wo mo say down to the wire asamne so mo so Premier League ne dia ade se bia 2 matches no mo bawi a ana ye benya win pa e wo Premier League no ento mo ka ta Arsenal se ene mo po mo to pe enti ane Antoine Semenyo ne guest na ye na no ana tese sisi no City for no so eyusu a ena no pe make it kakra e dia ma wanche sha hodo so beta quarter ne dia de Luis Enrique wo sha na no watwa no puse esansa since what 20 PS boboko no papa no 2023 ano sa se koye atuma no na eba ne tactics award atumi se ne nyina kama ade ma papa no eba ne trophy di champions a wade miensa wade friendly gano wade miensa Coupe de France wade mieno afe eba ne UEFA Champions League wade bako UEFA Super Cup wade bako FIFA International Cup no eno so wade bako nti since o dwani ye no wutumi se trophies award no ene nyina kama ade ma papa na mateso obia enso ebona baso yi sia de eba the revelation of football yanka mo pia antia yesa sia de football enso fan ntuma pa efra na fenso sa ye follow na ye football mu no the person obia be ka so no na ye sa de no enso Luis Enrique eno report ne efi PH akate edi eba ewo dwumadi so na no pa me kanfo bi enso edi ma beta mema refi say the last 14 seasons of friendly gano PH nkwa hwanyamianim atimu maku 12 the last 14 seasons as a detective winner our friendly Gano omunkwa maku 12 and he about friendly Ghana dia emesa omonene the campaign there budwazi sa omo hodo no omo dia abana league ni dia womuni obia enso emprebeta nipa baako ewo team ni ma se ye bona baso ye pa eno ya branch ade din enso de Marquinhos Korea na kwabna on se sa branch no abana PhD dia ono ekwa number of appearances edema PhD bobo kwani history wono na tese ekwa no the most decorated player ewo PhD history Marquinhos after the most UEFA Champions League appearance enso ewo PhD Brazil ni ba padia wono ne ekwano and after the first player ever after say what 10 league title and ti abana Marquinhos dia masa friendly Ghana obia header and so ene mbenti ano ya reporter anope medi eba wodwumade so beta yase Vinicius Junior say wo ba beti law firm bi na sa law firm na ono so edi eba no ni temba no de omo be racial abuse nko a enti obi abuse a wo fra Vinicius Junior na wa ma on lawyers no contact na friends wa contact sa lawyers no wo be dia asem kama dia ma ene ya dia mete for Vinicius Junior wa say Vinicius Junior ya na no da oni Gianluca Presiani wo mu niam esi o UEFA Champions League against Benfica wa bra Benfica player no ya na bo be na be di kwadu a akoda ne se wanka ebe wi achefi UEFA hwetwam no ma wo sa akoda ne kan ama mama na matches ban ne ade no me pato once FIFA World Cup ya kwe yasi o Vinicius rule na sa Vinicius rule ni yasa we a player na opeso kasa che wo opponent na don sa etua wano a yetimi ama record ama akokotena senti yali Vinicius Junior hu sa de no wo sampa what law firm na tese racial abuse no mo hweso a ebeboa ye pa na no ko be you free enya fi no ba be ju obi asika enti racial obi abuse a wo fra Vinicius Junior free bonto na tese o ma providing services e dia ma no ya reporter men seka ewo dwumade so Dujan Klovchaski na okwa street na ansa wo ma yine abae wo mo call up na ba 55 Iron Man squad no provisional one no eno the Premier League one na FIFA and so dia ama bia so omo from squad and from na eba Dujan Klovchaski nka ho and ekobisa Graham Potter say papa o star player one for na kwa na so catch no wepra he nya botrem fama no na ontimi prepare na ne wotɔ ye na otimi ene Tottenham Hotspur ye training na bia the next season wetimi anya form ni ye power amania man so akoye Ediaman Dujan Klovchaski anopai enkoma kakwa mensa ka yase once nanka yase last year somewhere December ana nanka yase ne hoto na ade na nkoye ana ja yase general yase ne ho anto this month man na mensa ka sa brand na sa rehabilitation no eniaman so ekoye Ediaman no once nanka so nkoye proper surgery be plasma de na tesa koda no enso akoye reporter mensa ka yase efi ne ya up to next week say ebia yenra somewhere in the middle of June there na koda we ni wonatimi atono Ediaman Tottenham Hotspur bobo konom ani ya reporter menseka but amakwakodi nkoma kakra enso ewo Germany enkoba mensa eka yesa sisiano woko Newcastle wo mu awa Anthony Gordon sa koda no oni bobo ye pa reporter menseka yesa I have 5 years contract deal and a buy and for the Amakodano already medical Mabekato Sakodano personal terms no ma agree Bibian Swakwe Sisian Newcastle so almost good dempa so mu yesika financial fair play na bitiomo and to mu yeska de dituma reporter men saka as Bibian so kwan abrante benya akọ Bayern Munich and Tania dia Anthony Gordon if you akodana kati edi eba e wodwumade so enano pen me kete edi aba na Chelsea supporters no muntieni ye pa Saturday 2 p.m. ana yene City anso elbow enu ye FA Cup final ha enya sem kotwa kram na anu na anura Pep Guardiola after omu came no and Santovo Kobisa say Rodrigo Cascante we beto be okay na wa boy Chelsea game na FA Cup final no obebe bua na say na City and also nyame anim ne wontimi nkyerɛ na subsequent days ye di anim efi na etena ekopim Saturday no betime decide say ebia Rodrigo Cascante betime siakan edi ama City na so nsiakan enfa from Man City and report and pato Pep Guardiola Eddie Eba Ewo Jumedi so Hans Flick head coach at Barcelona na Papa Nakasa was what the Barcelona players in Dinkomo na all Barca players in him Nankomo na when you met in their boys in HR Massa boys in Philly Barca team in your papa even players at one time crowd they were when we see Philly Barcelona no and now some 20 we a coach crown now ba one kasa when he bet home so bet me a Barcelona head coach and I think terrible and not women move tokum sasa winya a Barcelona team na we be coaching ni team ni dia in fact 20 players will be in common will be any ante sa Osia Kandiama Barcelona and from the La Masia they were and was it to say a special bond pa and the senior team and La Masia in term we are koda now Barcelona now ya dia nkwa dia and ubetimenya the senior team be and so bomber test and man so kwabra reporter men say once Ghana ni small boy bako our Barca Atletico your friend Gariba reporter men say like say Barca pieces number kono this year no yes brand to the senior team no and so training sanity ya and the Barca full squad no am say Barca there no on a Kevin President tempe and now Barcelona senior no and to bato Barca France and Gariba mu hwe and tenanta sa kodano swap and I reporter met from Barca kati na detene anwana jebisa Hans Flick say Fiorentino Perez say Barca team to Monza at 7 titles at the from Munsam now ubetimi aka wansama na no so sense me say the answer so who be a free bar we make okande papa ya se mo okay se mo money tua dadantino enya fi no be kan bibi na say ya kan say Fiorentino Perez akasa ano no Hans Flick ababe ya no wasa no ye bi ani ho wa asem no the way city anu ante dia fa ene ye dia papa ndi ba na ye bi sanse eno da no obi anim sanka 100 points no mu betimi anya na tesa Barca 2011-2012 season na womunya 100 points no na kwatima ya sar record de na pa ano so sana na ewo mutirim beta sia de dreams ni nyina de agu enti yanka mo bi ante say sa de na nya ma so beta ne boys ne de wo fili o mu ye pa ne ya reporter mensa kana Richard Okata say Lionel Messi World Cup update aba na mobaka Lionel Messi babeka say wonu say World Cup ni du ona so obekwa ejina na ho odin so ene ne modern boss so he na se na ho odin ne wo fom na ne ball na obo no entimi emboa ama Argentina man ntimi nkoma anim a enya de so no Lionel Messi ne bebo no humusuo kra se obepre se wonu so ebekọ World Cup na aboade boa me kakra na ma Lionel Messi recently ne last 8 months awabo na mo hen stars kakra ni rating kwabra sisi ade no eni ada ho abranta World Cup no obekọ senia Argentina okwa setia no esansa abranta recently omni Cincinnati yebo game we na tese ni rating no ano aye 10 pepe na that means adia no wa for ne pepe wo mu any Toronto FC ano so mo bo 9.5 rating ana fe wo mu any Orlando City and so boy 10 ano nya he ana afe Inter Miami any New England Revolution any 8.3 afe so mo any Salt Lake ano 8.1 afe obo bo Colorado ano 8.2 ana omo bo NY Red Bulls ano so 9.0 ana omo anso ni wonsen anso eboy ano so 8.7 anti kwabra Lionel Messi no who the way Johnny City na that means World Cup no their form ne enti abrante ntimi nka so oni Argentina man no anso ankwa no ya reporter Lionel Andara Messi efina kate edi abasisi no wo hwe the top 5 major leagues na yanyo obi a winner friendly no sisi a PSG na ate ana okọ La Liga no so Barca ate okọ Serie A no so Inter ate German Bundesliga ano so se no Bayern ate ana afe sisi no dia aka anso Premier League da what the garden dim gadem no ye dia ba sisi ba ni UEFA Champions League na dodo na anso qualify teams so ma qualify no etina me ba me ye ho nkobo kakra dia ma ne de mini bre na enya so na kwabra dia mete ene se Jose Mourinho nso no ya se oba Monday to me dia ma no ya se dressing room cohesion ene number 1 number 2 ya se UEFA Champions League no one for at least one year require no semi final and ya so the married team no and so eko ana fe oba so La Liga no so stop Barcelona one time but no ya mandate ya de ama Steve Zandu and the boss Jose Mourinho and to Jose betimi aya adwuma no ana se ontimi enso enya Man City and to say wo mu enso enya Federico Valverde wo mu pensam no doso beda ya se dia monsa kan Canada no pay media mam kwabna mame mfensia na yankasa Saturday baso den
memende ya fufu party no baso but before no
your forecourt ya
but you know story there em say empenufo ka say o kan yi enukro we be mbu say abebi bewu a
ana eso no sa
ena say mo no de no obi anim say nka mo no de isen ku awia na sa
na bo no onya ma me kochi wi enti sa be na enya nya adwuma
no I understand but what I'm saying is that at the point saying nobody it never occurred to
for big class for big class
say Marina I mean we all of a sudden you about news be say a video a link to Real Madrid emsa de no but say na work kan full party no nyame adoma ene Thursday ochina Friday Saturday and a pass sharp near the Jumadian dia so it said the one of our listeners at the message by say on Friday say only the or the yam tour for the full party no also nyame adoma Friday no for ayam tour because my catch says how full party we no the aye ni na we betwa ni na because of say aye hwe nipa around 1,000 3 4 500 I bet me feed him fufuo bia be fufuo na fili kama enti nyame adoma Saturday ye twensa de fo bia sauti ya sentiment mu hanko ade a titiru ene ye kumase ya ba bia wo bia no faka na fo ni fa kire me awo Nhyira FM ye ni mu ha na ye mfa fufuo party no enche so obi obeba bia no me sa wo ba fa wayo no ebra asanka no na the eternal asanka wo de bia ba bia no wunya bia wo de bra oba na oba Nhyira FM anim ha e ma ne de biba no ma beton enti wudu anu ato de na odi kiu no so edru otena no akodu aduane no abetena se no odi ni kama panti ye twensa de fro bia me se fufuo no bia benya bia di enti ba bia wo bia no me se edame me nda no faka lebra Nhyira FM ha na dwumadi Faith Homeopathic Center ama be so dwumadi ase ena nyame adoma me nda de dwumadi no ade eba makacho diabetes esichiri ade hawo hepatitis B ena nem yade no akote wani nhuna de ye sanso na usisi wa complaining sa edrebe na onum ye mpacho eye Faith ena se woko na ye shaw ema yade ni dina no ye tu ase ade ma ohode ye mfa yade ngura onza mfa mpie biem ye Kumasi ahenema kokoben me ba twa number 0244 583 583-859 me says the number to be 0244-583-859 and no a Faith Homeopathic Center on my number I don't know I say Garish Coastal or the full party there so I said namni to me sure na me kasa namo mo dia beguano etefo se woni na nso ka kire so unim pedua pedua di ni na bia ba nyame adoma me de de bon kwande amon so ba be di bia ban kwan ni na ye baby wase na nam no akukọ nam wo ho beef wo ho sausage cassava fish enam bia salmon upe bia to a Grange Coastal and I make for diamanti say bia wa na wo to de akono aduane ofie restaurant for mo ye aduane to abonteno mo nam ni na mo koto no ho because o mo nam na sai say e kama no ebo na fo ebo ama wo so no wadwuma sam etimi akoyie omo apiadu haya Kumasi apiadu omo any Roma sorry no na ayo opposite bia ode oyira for number 0530 789990 eno aye Grange Coastal your number and so and no Medimosi Process Center me patcho be me bia wutie me bia so what the 30 years now on check you post it da me patcho you mistake so what the 30 years pa now on check it am patcho ko no man check him out say na bia be say problem ba and answer problem bia enso ni ho na say problem ba ya so muntem na ya solve and so etimi at the amount na ema monzo ya nyamumu oba bi ho a wa pre awosa wa pebia che say awone ma ko na yenhwe na onso timi awo afa onfa oba yenso yewo ahenema kokoben of Obuasi Santasi Road e Kumasi ya 0248 712 812 eno eye number obetimi afrom na bibia aye kama na onse full party na be ye yenkwan amedin ka culture sa benkwan na no ye be bi abo ho na no na make say Nhyira convenient air food ɔmo nso ɛde ɛyɛ aba a yɛabɔ no kama tielie abɛnkwan yɛ nkwan bi a ɛdɛ paa ba ne yɛ ya nti ana ma nipa dodoɔ na ɛyɛ ofie a obi wɔ yɛ saa masama mi nyana menya nkwa foforɔ because afei na wokɔtɔ aba bɛnoa abɛwɔ di wei kyɛ sɛ long process on ha ɛno nti yɛne ankasa yakɔtɔ aba na abɔ ne dada ayɛ bibia kama ɛde agu kan mu so na ɔbɛtɔ a na wankasa ne otu ano a wabɛnkwan ana ayɛ ready ɛyɛ Nhyira convenient food wɔn adama ɛna ɔmo ɛde aba ɛyɛ dwa so a opɛ ɛyɛ nkateɛ deɛ nso ano nso no yɛa ne kama ne nyinaa yɛde agugu hɔ no mu a so wo yɛ ya prɛkɛsɛ deɛ nyinaa ɛne nti no tia no ade gu mu a na ɛsɛ abɛnkwan no ɛne nso atumi adi mu na ɛsɛ ɔkɔ anim no abɛnkwan no ayɛ dededededede meka sɛ ɔkɔ ɛyɛ Kumasi a anaasɛ ɔba ɛyɛ asantemantam hɔ a poku trading ɛhɔ nom ɔkɔ a bebree hɔ ABC mat patase ɛwɔ nyinaa ne yɛde bi akɔgu a ɔnsa bɛtumi aka bi 0554 442 853 na ɛdeɛ yɛbɛnom nsuo sɛ aduane deɛ ɛdeɛ na ɛdeɛ a yɛbɛnom nsuo na meka sɛ aseda beverages and spices ɔmo ɛna de ɛyɛ asase natural purify drinking water nsuo firi butan mu nsuo dɛdɛdɛ nsuo bɔbɔbɔ nsuo anom atumi sɛ manom nsuo na nsuo yi deɛ nsuo na ɛdɛ dodo enti nyame adom a Saturday saa nsuo no ne ɛkyɛ no waseɛ na anom num bi pa nam nsuo yi amantam nanso sɛsi a mahu deɛ ɛnoa na manom a tiɛdi nie ɛyɛ asase natural purified drinking water oba benya bianom okwa no to bi di kofie na bibia kama adi ama 0597243116 ɛnna amabaso asene sansana edufly yɛdu etu kwan yɛ fly Africana ha na nso tu kwan akwa abrochire country bia of your choice so na wan kasa sɛ suku na uko suade a yɛbɛyɛ ne kama packages papa bi enso timi adi ama business trip ɛna apɛso embark here nso no indina yɛaboa ma businesses bebre ebumi because of opportunities a yɛdema business man mom di two kwan so hu sanso ne bia wo de no obeso okotena abrochire obi wo okro peso okro abrochire se de hositie so ani nyina ye ne kama ye de bibia control ye bi ho sanso eneba okwa hotel obeda ticket obetwade akoni nyina ye ne ebe bibia kama enso etimi edi amantimi so edufly ye Kumasi de nyame ya odi also pedampan pharmacy building second floor 0535516363 ano eye number obetimi afro mu nyina na so mu ene ede fufuo party no edeba bank de no ane amanse wura bank PLC ene de aka metom so anoma sorry because hode o pebisi anya kasa tenten ena kofa wo fabra kofa onana nkansoa ena ne ba no wo no Kenya so ukohunu wai so besia kakra de be ma wo enkomwe tintintintintin omwe krom say I'm so eno kra na ha me no omomo akwa asem ni na awie omwe say I'm sorry yentimi fa besia ne ma what can send in it? Aman said, yeah, oh, dear, as an anya tintin bia, oh, bad, ye here, so, oh, some car. Oh, now, oh, good books and quadia. You are good to go. Now, you're the and so at me at the amount say a yes salary advance and I pay sanso and if you cry ye na be fie so ye be fie now some penufo ne nkwadano will be a suma sometimes ubekum and any panel wa wunu musuo sika no de be ye no so asema be fie nya asem ketwa so ho de mo sa problem na abusuano mo nko amanse mo nkoje eye be sa no mo fanya yie no ma bibia nya kama so mo wia na mo de akoto ba bieda kama asoye na mo pe eye be sia sanso na ankrankre mo yekuo mo pesika e de akodi dwuma bia ye de ba mamo na mo nso matimi e de akwakwa ne kama bia account ho na bibia nkoye enso emfama e ba na amafo bank a ye bi ye be ma ATM na wo de ayu sika sanso ena sika ne fra brochire ba what union wia ni nyina ye be ne kama enso etimi ade ama kama pa antro krom and head office no wo Kumasi santimantemu a Roman Hill Kokote station sisi a asemfom Kokas campus ho na Sofline new transport terminal no monko sisi 0247 20 0013 ɛno ɛyɛ number no ɛno no na P phones and accessories me part of phone deɛ say ɛho hia paa ɛsɛ yɛ business ne yɛ no wɔ phone so enti wo deɛ wa imagine sɛ bi obi frɛw na ɔma business bi na ofu adum so obi wɔ koro yɛ kwa na ofu adum obi wɔ so a ɛfun yɛ ana hiti saa kyɛ sɛ hyehyɛ wo de yɛ hwie nyɛ ye me part of kɔna na P hɔ phone bia wo pɛ bia okɔ aka kyɛn sɛ Richard say me sika na enso deɛ but manya half je me Ghana card nie dia kana mo spread them me na me ntwa ne kakra kra obeye dia ma wo eba no home appliances a TV Samsung a fridge so ho elfo pa blender nomne sa ne ma mefia setena ya akono no bibia bi ho kono koto bi fufufufu o matebo no so to the sense oto ane asan kra de bi asa de account ene obi wura dem no excuse nya afi na be na me TV ene ase akoto fro ho kokora na usika nso a ye ba mu otuatua umpo na apede ye the rechargeable air fans aba yedum kanea o recharge so a no aso na se awuro ni na no away air condition papa bi ye air condition entwe power entwe kra enti wodi abia ne se obetobie wo asantamtam eni ebekọ akọ ne kama ade amba power de untobi kra ye de na mono papa bi ede akofa enso ede abania ma me bobo so ndina fo wodi wan kasa wura ho a obekasa ampa Richardo ekan ampa Kumase edum ba bi miensa ne yewo Aseda house na opposite Kesben ye ho obi ba de kebo dinim awo eye adum honso ye ho na PZ for no monko na akwesi agema be odinim enkranfo Madina Zongo Junction Tamale Abuabu Station 0533093422 Union Protocol Institute Corner Coaching Computer unim de kusua de esanse ho de obia ye kire no kwama no kusua de no obia de adanse sa school yi we ne ye fane say computer school okwa computer no one student one computer mini ayi nansem ye ko computer school bi whole computer lab or computer 3 ube we dey na be ho computer ho so ensa na we we computer school so onso computer no kana ayeden so me so union te de okwa ye kire wade no ama wa wotumi say yes ya kire computer etu kosua bi o pese utua aye data analytics nindina na ho ye the data bawa so fire analysis na okwa no artificial intelligence network and cyber security engineering computer basis and office we nya afekwa na o de mbeki kan bibiri o de wa ko sisi okwa wa kasa course o pese o ye no o computing mu no na osua wade kama yo Kumase sisan so ya udi si bus stop ho buso bia na udi friend number 0555383848 kosua computer na ebebo ye pa what's there wie o ya dan kama na so dan no wo ha utu utetre bi osro ha ebo nka dan na ebe hye we nya se bi ha me sabio me befo me kanu kre na atro so ota atetre wosoro a na se kebu soro de yama na nya papa so hu se ye krom ha na wia no bo enti edu awia sa na so anu sa na kebu so no enkoyi a na nane na akeka bo me no na wa hwia ochina na odan na akwakoshi enti na Ghana Standards Authority and Energy Commission say Richardo kachire Ghana ni bia se san kablo and obi akotom cables and fa won ya ne dan wo china odan na ankwankwashi de hwesika de asi dan na china cables nti na odan akwankwashi eba se ba hadwe pa etiko ho na nsu kosua na bibia kotobi sorry na bibia enye kama enfama flexible cables switches lamp holders PVC pipes didina kofa bi edi aba Kumase edum power point electricals and one so be friend number 0534800832 eno eye number me pacho obetimi afre na o de vim energy drink after 2 day so isanse ne de wa brese den enya ko ni padua ni ma hu ba bia energy ni be fi abeba so hu se den uche bonwure sitai so e ohwie nyeye ahoden no se de obesi abo adwuma o supervisor obe he akwa yi aden ne de ase ni energy ne super so and adwuma ho den enti unya bi na wo ya na why with passion what the ahode awuram no adi ne kobana bogo ni ade a kina na akoma letter na you adi so timi solve me energy drink no we no side effect numbi na emba extra energy so obi ho na adwuma den adwuma obi ade den ba no kura ne se ebi de den pa se de pa ka asema obi wa na adwuma den momo sa no onya vim energy drink na babo na ade chia so ho na onya ho de foforo a obetimi enso ade akwakoye adwuma a hye no so se eye Trillium Industrial Limited omo na ade aba edwaso no pay omni afufu pi kan ho na yatena sia Thursday edition of Nhyira Digital Passport eti for ya boaboa ensema no efri amanene ene efia aidini na ade damo ewo dwumadi ne so edi twane live ewo YouTube Nhyira TV na mesrew oba fa message no enye ntintiem na etimi aka dodo na uja message no ha na on subscribe channel na mpacho yama misisie uko YouTube wona obo Nhyira TV de shawa na aba no subscribe channel no e de ama muwia na waja message no ewo ho se ne ebe ya ye koni nyina no so ha messages a wodo amode aba ni nyina no ye be kan bi enso etimi e de ama ewo dwumadi no eso Fifi Manfred Kofi good morning ana gonya utina so ana ha
Follow how the is a
follow
ha they say follow
no wakonya ha dai etina so ana de go for ma dai and ana sabotage
I say follow dey you me start the bio sabotage me meaning boni am dey no
oni a brand am say you should be ho
so ti mi mu ho
oh sa
ai ti am tell huna na jo ti mi dia
I see now we are now okay
walk na ti kakra then ma pombe dey
cause adwuma no so adwuma na edu wonu no ne dwuma wa tina poli ya sebo Kofi ya be fine me too
ija eno na Barcelona for the 1% come yom ko metima ko do Tito Villanova 100 points na
mfa
we make a say Alaves for we be no more than you
because no more relegation
or the relegation zone more and reach Barcelona I think in the last 3 or 4 times or more winning Spanish La Liga before the season in bend no say ebane say bia na the next match leaders all draw no Lucy the no na me very confident say Alaves for a moment here they can get something out of the game and they did but you can't fall Barcelona
Vagili na ye
the so you know why every other thing here miscellaneous it's I think say for yesterday was a good win for them and one thing was confirmed in the City Crystal Palace game no? And it's the fact say for another season Josep Guardiola in a league will not finish below 3rd place. We say 12 times were the first, 2 times were the second, 2 times another second, another third. It say Pep year juma no si phone no year juma. Edding. Season no go below 3rd. That is serious record.
League in bed too much is not can. And also say where I obia goal difference now. City have signed Arsenal by 1. If say me correct. Okay, what am I checking on her? Because and I say City share 3, right?
Share 3 goals. City was 75 goals. Arsenal 68 goals. Arsenal conceded 26. City are conceded 35.
So goal difference, City the near 43. And Arsenal the near 42.
Exactly.
Okay.
That separation it makes it very close. Then you come down to the games that have been left to play. Arsenal match Saka. Arsenal Burnley they say Agbena.
Arsenal Bohum.
Arsenal Bohum on Burnley. Burnley relegated.
Oh, and yeah. Mon from Arsenal.
Is the first 3 points. Then Arsenal last match on the Crystal Palace away at the Selhurst Park. Which a bit do no. Arsenal 2 matches when you 6 points away. For me, Arsenal won the league. Arsenal 2 matches now can. Or Burnley. Burnley is relegated. When you look at Crystal Palace, who could have stand in front of them and prevented them from winning the league now? It's Crystal Palace are doing now Conference League. So now me catch you. Oliver Glasner say he will not make anybody a favor. But then again, he focus on Conference League. So, Oba and Wababa Beje a trophy at the Crystal Palace for. He would want to give them European trophy. Adiomu Jibida. and they are playing against a side that they can beat in Rayo Vallecano. It's not going to be easy, but they can beat Rayo in the final. So the focus for Crystal Palace is going to be in the Conference League final, rather than focusing on game relegation. So in my opinion, and given that Arsenal for have faced this last part of the season, Rich, they are going to win those games, no? And I think that they will get a 6 points now to be able to go into it and then get themselves the English Premier League title. And they say Manchester City will come in and then take our City will 2-3 games. City weekend way ever against Chelsea in the English FA Cup. And only the infant don't change. But in the league or against Bournemouth away. Andoni Ariola
stubborn side.
Yes, Rich, and I wish table now. Bournemouth Europa bo. Either so bet me about Conference League, Europa League, even Champions League, go bet me qualify, depending on what happens at Aston Villa and Freiburg in the Europa League final and where Aston Villa finishes. Inti, so game no can't be tricky for City away at the Vitality. Then the last game is going to be against Aston Villa.
If you don't follow the match now. Oh yeah.
The last game is going to be
because the 2 games in our City Bebon, very tricky games.
Yeah.
Unami. My head table no.
Other fifth is see our table no so. Other fifth.
So it means that also at least on your Champions League.
Yes.
It is on your 4 points in a bit me kushino.
Be secure no so about Champions League. Be person be train. Now go Europa League final with Freiburg now and Korea next one miss out on Champions League. So they would want to finish it in the league. So Man City have really crucial games, Rich.
Arsenal League.
Yeah. And now so person who say City for now have 10 focus to the FA Cup how many Chelsea beba. Rich, go back and look at yesterday's game how many Crystal Palace a boy, you know. And no winning by 3-0, right? But then look at the starting lineup of City the boy. Matthias Nunes, Abdelkader Kosinov, Mark Gay, Josko Guardiola, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Ryan Nori, Savinho, Semenyo, and Marmouche. You can count as many as 5 players on your regular starters with team. Phil Foden this season has not been a starter. Omar Marmouche has been on the bench. Ryan Nori same. Abranti Efreno, Savinho same. And then even Josko Guardiola who has been injured. Now the focus of Manchester City has turned, in my opinion, to the English FA Cup. Because for Rodri, I'm not Rodri Kram, my pack on him, not Rodri Tiffy, or Resti Haaland, or Resti Cherki, or Resti all the important players that he will need for the big game against Chelsea. It's him say for the Premier League, immediately West Ham could not do them a favor. So you need to turn attention to the FA Cup, especially because Chelsea are now 1 whole week resting and preparing for the game. Whilst for them, they had to play in midweek and they hope to go and play in some match. And after the game, Pepe say Osha, the players no traveling as we call London, every Manchester, to Kwania the other day. The players they be break and they have to focus on the English FA Cup. They would want to win it. Ombe person be winning FA Cup. Na enye crowd. At least a double England the magic. In his final season, what may look like his final season or no in my opinion, I do agree with you to say Obana English League English Premier League party Arsenal are gone. I don't see how it's going to turn anyhow around for them our English Premier League. I think that they are going to go on and then go and win it. Now so coaches in Sengsemia Rich Anope yes Chelsea for no enya a green light on our brand friend Xabi Alonso. Now, Kamia Wakoye say Alonso is going to get a clean sweep to the Chelsea job because Omujiri say he fits the criteria. But Mwasemba Koka, whether it is Alonso, whether it is Areola, whether it is Marco Silva, which my campaign, I'll say it again. Whoever becomes the Chelsea manager, Chelsea for no wasudi bakope. They have one responsibility. So omoyama say ni pano. And yes, no matter who becomes the coach, it won't work out.
I know you had it.
Nipo ba be fair juma no. Who say mama starting to say Abraham Maresca be fair juma no mu engineering di. And of course he na engineering di because his body of work was not enough to give him the keys to Chelsea and say that okay, who be the key figure will rebuild him. Which unima de bako. Say players on mobile board. Esho mutrim say manager na or coach no. Or no every footballing decision be on no take care. I am adding for them to disrespect that manager. Say players number one, as you dream say the sporting directors and the owners listen to the manager. I am adding for them say omo de anu omo sem kakra be coach in Afa. Now look at even Chelsea and look at Madrid. Immediately when the Madrid players knew that for them, Florentino Perez will go fully for the players, Madrid players, if they don't agree with who coach now, they can easily turn up on you. Now, it is very, very important. Maresca, not only enough to show that Chelsea can give him the keys, Leicester City and all of those things. But with time, he had gotten to the point where Chelsea should have given him 100% or maybe 80% autonomy in a Jumana no and Chelsea for one which baby akuna babedruno. Whoever Chelsea appoint as manager, they should be 100% sure, say at least within the pool of managers that are available, no, only the best. Because Manchester United leaning towards keeping Michael Carrick. Liverpool wants to keep Anna Slot. Madrid most likely are going to go for Jose Mourinho as it is clear. So in terms of managerial availability, it looks as if Xabi Alonso, the main guy that can get the Chelsea job. Which some of the manner they have to give him 100% support and then give him the keys to build a Stanford Bridge. So I can't give him the keys. What do I mean? Which sporting director cannot make decisions alone or more power in decision making in terms of player purchasing and recruitment than the coach. Say you say player we all bano. Joe Shields na ni mono and Joe Shields and I overrule coach no. And the number there be because in maybe one man alone so kita rich. It is better as compared to when Maresca was coming. In Casa Alonso, you better cool than Maresca. It is better as compared to when Maresca was coming. Abraham Maresca Ebano, not only the experience of Alonso. It's almost experience. No. Now the experience boss has been checked. Yes, one coaching Madrid 4 years. Or coaching Bano for Leverkusen for 2 seasons. And then coach Madrid for almost half a season. But in all of that, the results are also good. Which in terms of tactical adaptability, or bossing and Maresca bon nebi omunya positional play. However, onono adjust kakra. Onya as predictable as you call Maresca to be. Again, Rich, set personality, aura, experience as a player, baby why you drew the laurels. See a Bonnie Ding Xabi Alonso right now. What he represents, Xabi has it too. But the most important, and if Chelsea can give him good amount of say in the running of the club, which Soma is I'm telling you, another season will come. Chelsea fans will cry. Chelsea fans will say that your club and they say it is because in as much say in football you can't give a coach total autonomy. You need to at least get them involved at least in decision making.
But when you say Dana Okasa saw in the Champions, that was the situation at Chelsea. I was like, really? Say sporting directors at the players name bar. Who coach who bet me a kept but the final decision and almost sporting directors. And that's wrong. Because at the end of the day, player near Kofan Nabano, of course, when you say they are sporting directors, more numbers. The data is there, puli data no, Bibia and Sana, the player need number. But you see, I don't say me can't ye di goalkeeper son come. And then I make say, goalkeeper be honma. Ebia up to no, it's good. When born a chain, but your name kitty be a goalkeeper trainer no, and so pay in the goalkeeper. Ebia sa goalkeeper no be.
Of course.
And you might think so, and your goalkeeper trainer no go on yard. But up some 1 or 2 year maybe, and Sana who's a brand to me, we project now. So what I'm saying is that. So your sporting director with all numbers, data be pulling at the end at the end of the day, a coach in the equation.
Of course. We need a mass at the end of a day match Chelsea for no money. We say all across Europe. It is difficult for me to pinpoint a club or multi-sporting director structure. Chelsea Penner was at the assistants now off the top of my head. So okay, let me know. But Oko Barcelona is Deco. Oko what's the name? Liverpool. They've gone back to the people that they knew already. Manchester United, Wilcox more, but it is not sporting directors. Be you go back to Manchester City. Chelsea, you're about 5.
Hey,
yeah.
And I saw them 2 players.
Chelsea were apart from the regular trainer you know, more Shields, more Wing Stanley, more one other guy. No, I'm saying Sam Jewell, no one other guy, almost 5.
Wow.
Omunya co-sporting directors. And akwa say the ma enu no ye hu kran say rich clubs be to say RB Monia they no more multiple sporting directors no. No omo technical director yo mu nyina boss.
Yeah.
Iti who coach sporting directors no mo adwuma wi then the reports that come out sporting director. Then the sporting director now goes to the coach
and brief him.
Then he said, "Oh, wait a minute, in film. Edia we Suban bi adano koda no madam for coach bi say boy we no. I thought be omuade kakra. Nti we dey odimbo no data na ye but adibo dey say need data. Nti yen for no to nchen. Chelsea don't have a technical director that will brief Maresca or whoever the coaches. He said if Chelsea will go with this, they need a technical director. Or they need to promote one of them as a technical director who will deal directly with the coach. The coach is given a proper autonomy in building of the squad. Which and yes, the Obeka Semikai. We will go through the season again. Chelsea boys, many bedrooms are still Chelsea match to be.
Because how they wrong, Kofi. Me one thing I've seen in football, and they say, South Sporting directors near the Nubo Combo no are affiliated to a particular agency.
Most of them they are.
And to be anytime be no for players free agents or no, I didn't cut. You know, I don't know on Jane Carbon Hole. The cat no Bejani.
Say one J cat to crown for most of these sporting directors. Or several player an interest. In the end, you would want the player to get good things on them. Another clear cut example, which Oko Bastuna, Pini Zahavi, or the agent of Hansi Flick and the agent of Robert Lewandowski.
So you see?
So regardless of anything, there is a possibility that Pini Zahavi would want his two clients to work together. Obianka said that is what is going on. But agents obviously are representing the interest of these players, and of course they would want them to be successful, baby Omubo. And new to Chelsea needs a technical director who becomes a superior to all of these things. Richna, never say me Bisau. Are you part of the school of thought of Carrick in or Carrick out?
Question will be some that. I'm a catcher say Carrick by no. Yamin looking why Juma. Why Juma pa. But I think Nejuma na why you need no. To me, Medenka send campaign for Betty pa. Yaman 1 year be
Another 1 year. Yeah. Masa Carrick, munyo okase tan Carrick bano. Story be by say Carrick so no credit man on pen a long term. Obeso be
say do nya long term ope.
Say sound only dey mu. Be dey ka mu. I say dey be mo so open short term. Short term say
only say there be ya bi say be pam no be win game. Match was way much you lose only be pam.
Right, I think that it is only right off the back of the results at Carrick Kenyano. Say obitimi work which again we United near one shin your be baby and a club never.
Sure.
The team was somewhere around 15 this season. Saturday not Chelsea the third. It is a string of results, if not for nothing. Me Adiaba come here very confident with Michael Carrick as a coach is the fact that his backroom staff do compliment him.
Okay.
Steve Holland for one, he very much experienced with the Chelsea team. And he knows the terrain, worked with the English national team.
Okay.
And ASI experience no diaba. It's important to keep Michael Carrick at least for the next half of the season. Not watch build a team for him. Let's see preseason. Which my fancy now. Maybe I question pay. Florentino Perez say a preseason in Tina Madrid Breno. See you to preseason and I Perez and go. So Perez Madrid are more preseason. Preseason. Your first word and oh guys no FR11 odds there, but Oko Fifi man for no social media and those abun se coaching here go on and then you may Spanish La Liga games or until the Yankubi.
Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Now to saying a partner we need to know as a we know Akunyano call from the door. Joshua
Rich
Josh
Rich
Nebiaboko
Nyamiadum na ozo
Nyamiadum asina afonso men kancho say odi akosua ne time almost na time beba ozo be show SG ball
30th
ube church in bia trawo
ebia on that day no me the Arsenal sports page just be share me bag
yeah
say first one no share
okay I remember when also pick baby episode there a share CBA no me too
Sir, Ushe matches na aka wɔ English Premier League ne mu na the least City betimi aye in the run in and say at least ni home games in the obeshening na enti enyam nwanwa say enra they were able to beat Crystal Palace enyam nwanwa at all. And one thing Emma win no munya you know it dise oka ho asem eye Pep ebo sa game no knowing say a very crucial but still not a need for Saturday FA Cup final against Chelsea. Until there were a lot of rotations our year team even with the formation. Then the key players be say Ellen Haaland mo, Jeremy Doku mo, Ryan Cherki mo, all had to sit on the bench. Wambo any of Nico Gonzalez and I say Rodrigo Cascante omunyina no mo bench. Until he is preparing the team no for the bigger match. But when you see a crucial and more opportunity needed to win, and they got the job done. I am the pan say Antoine Semenyo is back on the scoring sheet. Unim say all season now we are a forward in the modern game. You are required to score goals. Say goals in a dry up now or confidence eko. Enti edru maybe you could clearly see say a hard brand here no. Ama only confidence biom because Oba from the way he was scoring goals almost every game no was enti ma enkofo class start so munya doubts whether the way a Pep is Pep consistency na de bia o demand top level performances no and we na bambe bu osemenyo ho enche enti enra goal no share was very very good for Onwankasa ne personal confidence and the way on it City team no it wasn't surprising City won. They keep up the pressure on Club FN Arsenal in the run in. No. Look, and I watched the Coppa Italia final on my phone, and the conclusion is that Inter is the best team on the Italian soil. The way they dominated Lazio for them was you could clearly see say there was only one team able to just win the Coppa Italia, no? And it was Team FN Inter Milan. Now, Mehus and Kofo are trying to write the Christian Chivu story more. But Rich, Mijidi say on Christian Chivu story, no? Because of hindsight of Anna Slots, Intino, Yenchen Kakra.
Okay.
Yenchen Kakra. Didn't I make us say? Mijidi say Chivu is still benefiting from Inzaghi. Team or building here. How consistent that team has been put together for a very, very long time. On say yes, Barcelona pe Bastoni. Me sure say players be say Asabi more will be thinking say they are too old. They must give room for other people to come in. I don't know how long players be say Hakan Çalhanoğlu is still going to stay at Inter. Mkhitaryan more will think, look, we've knocked the doors of the Champions League final twice. It's time to leave. Even Lautaro Martinez say on a big deal from any big club here, he may think Wasum Inter enough, he will want to move on. The ambassador making say season way by we are. I believe the next season Inter are going to see a sort of transition be. And that is what Anna Slot went through. Emma exposing Liverpool no. Christian Chivu. It's me Emma players be caught. Who are key players of this current Inter team core. Now, it's me, right within a recruitment, within a backroom staff and a sporting director, Javier Zanetti. Now, it's me, dominating Italian football. Which that is where Mr. Tiajatum say he is worth the mentioning now, Onyano. But impempering there. I think that relatively the team was built by Inzaghi. They are so consistent with the way in that Inzaghi here and he's still benefiting from Saudi. But it doesn't take away say Obe Bonabaso say he has done a very, very good job since Obe Eso Inter Ejumedieni. Very, very disappointing. Say Bodo Eyomo film in the Champions League, but domestically there super performance. Now my last pick will be Enrichi when David Austin ever reported said Alonso has been put on the Chelsea list. Say coaches are more consider no. Now Alonso is on the list, and the consideration, you know, annually, even though or are they say nothing has been decided yet. Now, Rich, say na mimi who Alonso story no. Time Alonso here and I can say obe free buy no for Leverkusen. There were a lot of teams I know mupeno, but yomu nyina to nchen and only bring in Real Madrid and Liverpool.
Teams are not nyina so aboda.
Yes. Now, Rich, Alonso decided to take the higher risk among the two teams because may sure say me kra me ayala me te Ghana enima Alonso enim chi me bebre say senka oko Liverpool benya abotre kakra de amana dance oko Real Madrid enuntina on the ato ana slot this season, you know. Still Liverpool for the CEO. Yebema nemre. Liverpool was hard, you know. But Alonso was so like na eyene wish kese say Real Madrid de Jumano as a Spaniard, you don't say no to them when they come. And even though he knew the risk level was through the brain, he decided to go for it rather. On yet the benefit of hindsight to say enke na ohun de to no Real Madrid ne dia enko be to Liverpool. But say ordinary so a share sa to anim no. E say ni mienu nyina ya abo no. Wako faili wa Real Madrid. And the Liverpool job have been given to someone even with a season and the na anya de no career say to one so it's not even available for him to go and take. Now the argument made for Alonso say Obeya there with Chelsea no, and they said at Chelsea omubemano the opportunity say obe odi team ni be senior no peno senior onya Obeya no for Leverkusen na afi alternate team no into a very very winnable team no. So for instance Obeya himself Xabi Alonso the time at Bayern for Leverkusen was a 3-back coach, me boy. And people are saying, "Oh, about Chelsea, Obenya the freedom to do the 3-back no with Chelsea, and it's onya sa freedom no dia based on the year of Bayern for Leverkusen. Yeah, who say with time he can build a very very formidable team. Many sound funny again, but me jini one and me bisa who say okay, Rich, Liam, say no Strasbourg no." No, see a 3-back coach. I didn't know about Chelsea. No, when to me, I'm for the freedom of say Chelsea. I'm not going to wire the opposite here. I'm about 3-back in Chelsea. What was the limitation? Na a dear body now, more 3-back straight away. Is it because Oba in the middle of the season and probably didn't want to change much? It's yes, into Kochayama. So continue holding forth nana your boss season you then he takes them to preseason and tell them say this is how I really want to play. May travel from preseason near their career next season. Say if that is the caveat for the entire Liam and me implemented there against the backdrop say Obakayama come of your harder. Say it is a fact coming from Maza. Say even when Xabi Alonso no akwaje Real Madrid adwuma no, he proposed to them say senko nyaya enkomunko FIFA Club World Cup nembra ansara was start adwuma no mo say derby obegidia Jennifer Cobra and when you the benefit of preseason even with Real Madrid and with Sadia na eto no ntino Rich menye so say Xabi Alonso will rush into a job onya preseason. Look, I believe he's still got something to offer football at the highest level. Xabi Alonso yes uncle for now they were good as players and even for Momu playing this you could clearly understand what the footballer sepa onya time with him na onya opportunity to build on wakasana dia obetimi a very very good job at Chelsea senior oye e buy no for Leverkusen no. Now Rich, the irony of Asemwe which is very very trivial. Unim se offer Nansia coaches at Chelsea for more. Bakopa or buy our Chelsea supporters from beginning to so free or man penasem da Rafa Benitez. And Omasem Ginana say Tamano coaching Liverpool no. The way are not so aggressive on Chelsea no. I'm a man penasem da until munim dentia yakofa Chelsea Jumama no. The irony is that Saturday no more can once no. Na Xabi Alonso bomber Rafa Benitez Liverpool no. Yes, Xabi Alonso himself as a player there, he has always been gentle on Kasa Chichiu, on Kabibi ebe instigating war and I say conflict inti ni hu so say obeba. But the fact of the matter they say, Rich, minini trimu there, but I suspect after what he did with Tima Efreno, by no for Leverkusen, you know, the top 2 jobs based on affiliation would have been Real Madrid and Liverpool. But now probably you have to settle for Tima. Your friend Chelsea. Yes, we hear Alonso free one. So one consideration is Areola. Rich, how different na Areola be from Maresca, Liam, Graham Potter? I'm talking about coaches. Omo coach English Premier League teams be na watch a huge potential say oh you good. Now based on that Chelsea akofana ba after you buy into the bigger shoes, you know. The consistency with which because at Bournemouth, which say Areola caught 5 games. Now out of 5 games, you know, we need 3. Now obo draw 1, not olusu 1. It is okay.
Oh, a Bournemouth.
But who the Chelsea?
A result oriented.
They will not be okay. They will not. And see, Yahumida, I'm not saying he's not a good coach. Very, very good coach. And he has been very, very consistent with the way the team's able. And one thing you the English media don't come with about him say Emma needs to Chelsea job now is so washa or building a bomb of team no. Season then he brings new players and you still see Bournemouth play the same way they play, still remain competitive. It's almost okay at Chelsea now. They always want to bring in new Nkra, give them the opportunity to play. You know, he will do a very very good job because or a consistent with Sadia no our Bournemouth. I don't take anything away from him, but I think say between Ono and Xabi Alonso, which the trend analysis in favor no Ebe Andoni Areola. Into Xabi Alonso there, he's just waiting for another big opportunity to remind and comfort the kind of coach. Marco Silva is not really on the list, and they are only really on the list. And they say, Martin said there's a job offer for him at Benfica.
Okay.
Sammy Real Madrid has sniffing with Mourinho. No, I know. And a Benfica fire imagine said the moment Jose Mourinho will confirm say Real Madrid no, they will bring the Fulham coach, you know, to Portugal. Now about handle team your friend Benfica. See, me as well say and command the baby because sure. Listen, no but also you be free mu you better revise say and your man na ya ko him. Say more 30 seconds. Look, move for Jumedi name correct.
Maybe because of precedent.
Give the you see. If you say adia ya parish and I say do be bonny ebe jajo ya papa it happens me gitum that is any friend trend analysis sound money it happens but ya when you are being measured by will be failure. Look, on the face of it, Ediana Carrick enye to end the transfer adwuma no betimi aye. A onye catch me.
Oyi bibia. She Chelsea, she City, she Arsenal. Almost all the big teams in the Premier League.
We're bringing the best out of the players that are available. He's a true and true Mancunian. On your politician, on your controversial figure. He's a good brand to Manchester United as a brand. Though here probably will be support. And see, me immediately, in my own opinion, I am not comfortable say Yedi will be bunny. Ebe judge carry kaka say, oh, sa no libe ye man opportunity when to me. And you know, I am not having the same sympathy for Carrick, and that we should go outside. Me gidi say the Jumani money interim no ya. Nasa na or they make a statement why he should be considered. May I say all the boxes he has taken, and even the players within the team. Campaign say yamfa Jumadi no emfa emano na omaya Jumani. Maybe they am for Carrick. So mo decide somebody.
Josh, remain
Yeah, Rich. I think Manchester City did the do. Fear Brown Crystal Palace. A boy, and I think it's quite clear from what we have seen. Say a lot of the attention is heading for FA Cup final on Saturday, so the rotation was very evident. But I think another thing that Guardiola would have been starting to think about after the game, and he said, now the attention was on my book, on my standing game. Na my nephew, and he say, aka ubi our last 2 games. Now the next game for Arsenal is Burnley, and I really don't see how Burnley are going to pull a surprise on Arsenal, because after win against West Ham over the weekend, Arsenal knew for sure that they were within home stretch of the title. And if you want to look at the competitiveness of the opponent now, you look at Burnley, you look at Crystal Palace. Between the two, Crystal Palace and a London club are on the board derby, so that's on the last day of the season. But when you look at Burnley is already gone on relegation. Into Arsenal for motivation game. Even you decide and on to Arsenal know very well that going into that game, all they need to do is try as much as possible to get the goal that will give them the confidence to settle into the game, and then they will build upon that. Omunya chances become one, they will add more goals. Burnley don't really have anything to play for, but in such circumstances they can be very tricky. So Bekaya, some seasons ago, teams are yenim say umbeko relegation, they try and surprise the winners on the final day. QPR, they tried to do it on City years ago. So in terms of the threat, it will be there. But Arsenal will know that if you compare the two teams that they will have to play, Burnley is an opponent that they must be able to finish that job in preparation for that rather quite difficult game against Crystal Palace on the final day. Chelsea say Xabi Alonso is quite close, and when I heard the story a developer, still you can see that still a lot of negotiations are going on. One thing I make clear and say, in Penyifono, when they were sacking Liam Rosinia, say they want to do some self-reflection and use that self-reflection to decide on the next direction for Chelsea Football Club. My question number one is that self-reflection on why? Because it always sounds nice. Say you link a coach like Xabi Alonso to the Chelsea job. Every Chelsea fan will be a bit excited because we already know the pedigree of Xabi Alonso. Yes, he did not perform so well at Real Madrid in terms of how the expectation was or what they wanted from him. Everybody would attribute it to Bayer Leverkusen, the performance he did over there, and how he has built himself, the brand he has crafted himself as a manager. But it goes beyond just appointing of Xabi Alonso. The fans are protesting. The fans are not happy. In Penyifono at Chelsea, are they thinking about that as well? Because the philosophy of the coach in China, there are so many other factors that come together to help a club build a successful campaign in a season, if the fans are not behind you, I'm sorry. It may just not be the pedigree of the manager or their performance on the day. Yes, it counts. But as things stand right now, Chelsea fans are still reeling from Maresca's sacking and Liam Rosinia's sacking and the behavior of Eye Mpenyimfo at the hierarchy. For which reason, that self-reflection on Mukase Omoyeno, are they sure they have done it well? For which reason, if Alonso is coming in, they're going to give him the full control to do the job, because that's what he'll be seeking for. And it will be very unfortunate, say, they would have found another way to bypass the original conversation that they must be having with Xabi Alonso about control, to make it look as if, say, Onubeji Ejumano, he must just come into Chelsea, and then because of the brand he has built for himself, he becomes the manager, and then the case will just die down. If he gets the result, that is all. A bedroom season, and maybe bedroom in the next season, no? When the results are not going well, we'll come back to these same stories that are going on right now. So it is imperative upon Mpenyimfo to say, now that we have realized that so many things we have done in the last few years, Chelsea, no, the things that we have done have not gone well. And we have said to ourselves that we want to do self-reflection. No? Self-reflection, have we done it? And yeah. Or how are we going to do it? Before we even think of bringing in Xabi Alonso or giving him a contract. Because that is one of the main things at Chelsea for. Even the fans.
Maybe Omaye.
Dear, it will show when Xabi Alonso is given the job, because definitely definitely from how things are going, I think Xabi Alonso will be given the job.
Okay.
But then the fans also, the issues that they are raising about, say, the hierarchy are not taking it serious. Those things will also come in the fray. Because if you just change the coach and the issues that the fans have spoken about are not addressed there, they will always come back to it. Because Xabi Alonso coming is a very good thing. I won't lie to you, Rich. That one, nobody can dispute it. But to avoid the troubles, all the things that are being mentioned now that are going on at Chelsea, that are grievances that so many people are having. For example, there are about 5 different sporting directors. But some of those things create confusion at the club. Yakobo match na bibia nkoyia. At the end of the day, you realize that some of these sporting directors, they walk directly into the dressing room and they express their grievances, where everybody wants to have a say, because Yaman Ejuma was a sporting director with Chelsea. But when you look at other models, and Tessa, the coach will have a certain control, and the sporting directors also know their job. Whereas, say, if you tell the coach, say, you have freedom to bring these players into the team, the sporting directors will not come and interfere with the job of the coach to tell the coach, say, player now within the buy and 1 yard and player from another. I don't know if you get what I'm talking about. Those are the things that a lot of Chelsea fans will be looking to avoid as conversations that will be going on in and around Chelsea from next season going. So I really hope, say, that self-reflection, no, good.
And Sana, the appointment of the coach in the ground will follow.
Will come in.
Okay.
Lastly, Carrick, and now whom statistics be, say the probability of Carrick being accepted to be the next manager of Man United is hovering around 80%. This is not only good for him, I think this is good for Manchester United for Nankasa. They know, say, after Carrick took the job on the interim basis, the transformation has been very, 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 very sharp. To the extent, say, an outcast in Kobe Menu has suddenly found his form, and it looks like Nhyira he'll be going for the World Cup. But at the end of the day, I agree a lot with what Ayala said about the support. If Carrick doesn't get the support that he needs, Nhyira, a bedroom maybe in the season, no, when the results start going a certain way because of the overload of the games on United, no, Nkrofobeka said Carrick is not the one for the job. Meanwhile, everything shows with his record, with his past performance as a player, with the kind of personality that he has, say he's the one to take Man United long term. And when you look at the fact, say Alex Ferguson and the kind of career he built at Manchester United is something that Manchester United fans look and admire. They would want to tell themselves, say, let's give Carrick the chance to take Manchester United for a very long time. And I believe that is the thing that they need at this point in their.
That's it. He will
do the job.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Joshua Olutu and I'm attending Kanisha for 25 good fellows say rep your Jesse no. Obeshe PG Jesse. Yeah, and yeah, a good fellow in the better now say. Just bet Champions League. I say at the point grade any bet you
or the account GI. Most what German is so last time confirmed the sound common behind the season.
Also, Obeshe
me Nanica.
Obeshe Chelsea Jesse was here.
Or the cat 2000. You do a chair for 1 month. Or for mine.
Good for the idea, bro.
Also, Obeshe Chelsea.
I say Obeshe PG Jesse was no the Chelsea DNA
I see
from Sanabe.
None in the reason until
Asu supporter.
Oh, okay.
Against.
Obey Arsenal against. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not problem.
Okay, Yababa African Athletics Championship also award Ligon. But I mean for news and from under 17 AFCON and then Ghana. Yes, your Jenny Nasin ne. Yene Omer from Algeria. And the Pemso 7 p.m. Tino. Oye Ghana ni anu abo empire edi ama coach Prosper na Ogun ene eye nemrante no anu aso no so we emrante a omini amro eye 17 years inti ene ena ana 17 campaign no Ghana ye share dia se awo eye obi man so aye ne Algeria edime 7 pm and so ebetimi abas of course make us say 3 teams are in division 1 na nyame adma 2026 2027 Ghana Premier League almost about the shape no omu nyina na yenya omo yenya FC Ashanti Gold 04 and yenya Post City FC and enwe ya DBB United omo winchi omo ehye Tamale City ekamensa Tamale City and so ete kano ba ko no amomo enya promotion na nyame adoma next season Ghana Premier League no omo so ebeshim na omo bobubi and so ede ama ayewanchima ano ene ensam kakra ewo ho na sada na America no 24th African Athletics Championship ekoso ewo University of Ghana Legon. In fact say ohwe dwumade ne hyase the open ceremony na amanfo so said the ade esi die nanka eya ne sak encheda nya bad per Ghana standard name competition na kasa start ye no ohwe fiasco. In fact eniema ekoso no negatives ne edoso and anope mate a lot emukwe kasa ai negative ne doso de but nkabeya essential for omuna e cover event no omanya measured kakra because yempo Ghana ne eto no it say ye to negatives no mo a ebasa emma ye image our abonte no enko yikra aninti no ebeyanka omohwe na nko omohwe se dia honsam no enso ebesi akona negativities aye kan wasemi ebi dey feeding, accommodation, logistics yezo obi o communicate bi kra time ano eno nya adwuma chese ensem bebre ye kwa ma no so na ye ne Bernard Padi Botwe okọ asempa abrante ho na ono mo enso edi adwuma ni asempa sports but oye ye correspondent da ono na dwumadi ono nso edi eye kire ye kwa ma no so na ye ne Bernard edi eye enkomo Ben Otiminka, good morning. At the back, Kumasi.
Oh, Nhyira, Rich, Mr. Joso.
Na Bibia Boko no pay one kind.
Nyamiadum na dum na also.
Nyamiadum Bibia Boko. Kumasi. Bernard, Mammy Sam, been such my DNA chance here, and Vadene day 3. And from day 1, the Bepim Ayendeno, what follow Ayendema Ecoso, a Lugona scene. The championship na ekosono. But there have been a lot of negative stories air fly ekwabontin I mean a say Ghana din first of all it be a feeding, accommodation and logistics. Una wo aye grounds from day one I started Jumedi no. Oba describing the same and yeme koso Jumedi na say.
All right, Minia Memo Akaba Adeba Accra, High Lagos Sports Stadium. Now, them say Jumedi and Sanadi Kankai, no, a shall see Nano Monday, no, and an opening ceremony, no, a shall also be a top from Anna, and then maybe I find Tuesday, no, so, but some kind of Mamisha says the negativity aspect, you know, Yane and GA President Bawa Fuseni extreme Komo concerning the negativities are Nyamaba Kumino Ayana and Toja Edimpa and Baumankana and after so media JC stress. Now in more than my and said Omaji reported in a Supreme and Omud Wadi Mapa Safety I copy the question that's what media in another Banivian. The visa ACB. Only say South Africa athlete back and Obaba Sembeka say Nebiani D Moon video da and Biano Enkoye being from my at the self. CTN I've calling there. Yamani number so I will my dear fine. But there one interesting thing is the only time round in video to be articulated on the poll vote issues. Now athletes no go to now poll vote no but in before any in Kumo, purchase idea na ensepata and in this AC. But so when him logistics idea or my mono, sometimes they are never purchase. Intino, fifty and never dear, and idea a BCBM. Intino, from the one about him and I, they trained Yama and shut down to a new and to a year, Sena, be expected. But we are wishing so from today, for the Yama will be better than previous days. First day, that's the 1 and the 2, and then day 3. Yes, was no. Now I'm saying no, so Ghana, Alex Nodona to America, Nankani, that's one Sanka. For the past 16 years, Ghana, ye medal, or Alexis, Yakebina first medal, but I know Shinima, and Captain Joseph Polamwa, and Samimu, Abdul Rashid, and Sono, Anthony Fakoto, and Young Fire. Almost 4th and 6th respectively positions in him. And I share 4/100. So make me a 2 now. It's me doing kunim. Normal custom is to the finals. Me share. A bit many medal, first medal. At the moment, so far Nigeria 4 and the Cameroon and I'm DJ medals now. Ghana, the only host nation. The young bronze, Ukraine, and silver. Me apunya gold. And to Richard, so far so good. But just that the 1 and the 2. In your 4th or electric cars on me say any screener the project from first to last but before Ashabo Sebibia and so about to from and then I call him negotiate so
Ben na what grounds money yera Bawa Fuseni Shia and with your engagement that money no enya no. And I say, and some for more questions, I'm Busa and Yadeno. Papa Nincham, or sit there, pan, a coffas upon the buy. Because in him say, Jumadian before I baby dino, ye trust a cabinet to her, sending a debate Juman, which, Sikanan Babuama, Alice on Baba or Modiani Dean Baby or Beda, logistics at the Bayer, Jumadian Lano, everything are conkai. With engagement with Yerano, or sit there, pan, a cause a problem.
Okay, Rich. So, what Yera Eba Sampire from Ama or the 2 Ghana phone in any budget for the common ministry of sports and recreation 40 million Ghana cedis. But Epim as an Adra, Nayan train Comono, 1 NC2P, so say scanning in Abba, and that's a half about and a big crown by 1 for Antuanim. But Bosch or share and said, Bibia Ebe okay. And one thing was also kind of said, internet ne nyama bakumye no me bi no kano ni nyina no omo making available omo tua for internet problem na buy no na aside problem and was I'm sure for aside Ghana and one will see amonone ebe but so far the one say budget no ministry no any nyina mom and some form mom na there one boss but only said you made no cost one now for can say I dare say me ba wan na dia skano dia be bakra na 90 member intino ibia na sports and recreation minister honorable Kofi Adams 18 one come on symptom because in Guasene Yaba, a person in Guasene Subesaba near Cassette, Honorable Abreson see because the whole Africa where I said Afcon or Richard, where I said Afcon and I hear hosting because African in a senior athletics championship in a Duma that form and this is the 24th edition of Ghana and the idea so and this is the one thing the negativity ever brought mine because you are projecting the image of the country.
Pardon me, Bacho. Ayala nie. Na me bese me busa say for emphasis no. O ba so chere en say mo ne ba of say ni mo didi nkomo no. Problem ne by because of sikasem. What they me gather on ground so no. It might be a scar problem because budget no the coin no. Me not too sure. So Mosaka the 40 million Ghana cedis budget are not almost and so far before the event in the Bashar or the Yama to just say Omokraka Yamani beefy upon Amanone Ebaya Nanka was almost clear but someone name was clear and I'm just hoping and in common personally my money who said maybe some says so far Yamana okay Nina and Omosaka and I say Yamani Biso Omosanka. But so far I'm sure it's a very problem. Yeah, Ghana for Yampa Bonese Yebe hosti competition biana IF na ya krabeshe na edi enumonyama bre Ghana sports. Enti ye ninkran ona wo ho from day 1, day 2, day 3 ye ko enimu ano no. At least improvement or more a promise ye say ye be hu na enyo master say 10 na de enumonyam kakra bia bre no. Ubetimi adi ho dance say say improvement no afin kakra I started ba and that issues are you raise here from the beginning no gradually no those issues are being solved and
okay and okay from and Osha and then so time number activities in have to and improvement in Kakramba or when in some trouble any problem more with accreditations and maybe probably go on and trouble and then on security measures no put in place or be a self factor sort no and in some trouble you say the my baby and what say a and maybe and what say a call you say the making sure say be a bedin lemo and we are hoping Boshana Bawasha and Rano from an Ecosino Sunday na Bibia so I fine na Ghana image no akoye sebaya so ebetimi afa
Ben yada se pa no pay for report out there free and crying at the abay yada se nyami shaw
Mr. Madam say
yenya Bernard Paddy Botwe multimedia journalist in fact on yenuanom asempa sports team no ono munina no okan bi na omde dwumade no enso ewo eyenka ayala in the first place no yenim se dwumade no be start no there was sikai try for dwumade no first of all se ne yenim se yenya sika fan start dwumade na yakwaje kra yede okay why take it in the first place
okay so you see anya banwe and a koji hosting right
mekai aban
the previous government but aban we buy you know rich one kada se obehwe ne sikasem mu no ontimi enkosoa enhosti in fact as a matter of principles yet I can simply say ube inherited company which you both inherit the assets and the liabilities you know. Enti aban we buy you know even though you want to start say the procedure say you pursue host the African Championship no that is the reason why in some trouble can point to the fact say there have been a 40 million Ghana cedis budgets agreed for this competition. Now Metier Ora Bawa Fuseni Metier Yenya Penny Osesibe, who is the deputy for the Athletic Association. Sa oka omun samunu fuani bumwa. nneɛma mmienu ɛna ɛha yɛn deɛ di kan budget a yɛ agree sɛ yɛde bɛyɛ dwumadie wei no sɛ yɛ release sika no ɛde aba no problem. And Rich, the moment you release sika a budget for a certain program, ebe delayed and I say ebe back and forth, it affects everything planning.
Sure.
Until say they couldn't do a test run. Until for instance, you procure poll vote polls. Ya procure timers, ya procure way, ya the way. Sanyo mano, Rich. Competitions na ya where ani aje so I come. They do a test run of these things.
That's all I'm saying.
Juma kama.
Yes. Oh, ha ni di biaba.
Ebekwa na ye nyenyi tie ho na fe jasu ni akofa biaba so chale de abaye fix na pum yen ko afa ye test ya whether ye adwumo enya adwumo na akofa nsem bebre aba. Now, you see, sometimes if you are so careful, na tuja they draw conclusion easily now. You get some session of the listeners who say, "Oh, Mike, boss it." Look, within the last 2 days, some of our colleagues are the All African Games, budget, they were saying it was too much. They think that organization, based on Sike Uremuno, a very, very well standard organized competition. Let me say, if I was supposed to be a normal listener, which is which?
We play double standard.
Which is which? And Rich, my main case mo njato. Ghana how ye mutanya. The structure of ye bia or my muebiano. Rich, a certain level of deficiency. Ghana how it's rich, and no man is how. Enunti say a man will be to me be as only be anymore. Rich, I am telling you, the person will go through a lot of challenges to make the necessary impact expectations I want to know. That is why me ayala the bia meka wo radio so meka wo TV so meka wo any media platform me say as a Ghanaian exercise a little bit of decorum. Never go for the benefit of the doubt when they are exercising their power. Because, Rich, and you will be any to do say, obeji to me, no they are fail you. But sometimes, when you are confronted with the issue, na utsewa and a musani assembly. So what in China? Odress say ene obetena condition mu ye think them why condition bobo hakra be 5 na chile you don't face any hitter one way the way you conclude and bash and comfort as if omunim di omuye omunim nyansa they are omunye competent at anything. Wait until you get there. Wait until obeko.
Because imagine the sports minister, I mean many sure say obe pese and can you do come on sa fiasco
you want one of the best competitions
you want
one of the best ya ya perform kra yenya verdica come money ade look at and uko social media crowd and people are bringing their past commentaries on their media omu debate omu ye demonstration making pronouncement as if say obi are incompetent. They have all the ideas in the world. Now you are being put into power. You are being confronted by the real issues day to day. You see the results. And then now you think say you are so comfortable you can bash. In your countryman songo. Look at the day our year about Ghana League go and time say when he was giving Kotoko job. to in charge of promotions and branding. Yeah, hire no bebu Kotojo Patch or say Sansem now carrying because he knew was coming. How many supporters was he able to canvass for the Kotoko team? Look, it is so easy to criticize people. So easy to raise issues and things. Say, but when you get into a position of power, now for the real issues, they bow table. Now you are supposed to deal with it. And then who send me a city because Ghana and Germany rich. Ghana and US, where fundamentally you should send your man to set you up for success. And see, with a little competence and effort, you get things done. I don't, Rich. Me say, me kind when after 2014 World Cup, time at the fiasco of Commission of Inquiry, a crowd bedroom. One day I was working with Ultimate FM. Then the then sports minister Evisefi Ankra, he came on our show. In any interview now, you could see that he was reserved with a lot of answers. Behind the scenes, he interviewed off air. And I'm saying, he seems to have as a nimuno a yaw kesibu nimua. Ontimi nka o microphone nim about the tone as a sports minister then. Unumase wakai. I say, in all honesty, he feels say he was sabotaged by his own people. Inti blaster si pesca o Brazil. Sikano ya puvi budget dadampa asa no muko. The money has been released. Send ye be yo munsa be kano. Obi so mfimfia or block it on so there's a normal bit delay na ne ho any those things. Rich se unko mu a unim die wom
eventually na ye beto so 4.5 pamcho ye basisi ana abeto so
dancing
best starting. There was Sikai try for Ejumedino. First of all, Sani and him saying yes, he can fan start Ejumedina. Yakwaji cry.
Okay.
Why take it in the first place?
Okay. So, you see, I know Banwe and a Koji hosting right.
Mekai a
the previous government. But a Banwe by Rich one kada. Se obehwe ne sikasem mu no ontimi enkosoa enhosti. In fact, as a matter of principles, yet I can simply say ube inherit a company which you both inherit the assets and the liabilities no. Enti aban we buy no, even though you want to start say the procedure say you pursue host the African Championship no. That is the reason why in some trouble can point to the fact that there have been a 40 million Ghana cedis budgets agreed for this competition. Now, Metier Ora Bawa Fuseni, Metier Yenyapeni Osesibe, who is the deputy for the Athletic Association. Sa Oka Omunsa Munufuane Bumwa, Aya Nyoma Munu, and I hayen. Dirikan. Budgeta ya agree say de be ye dwumadie we no. Say ye release sika no e de aba problem. And Rich, the moment ye release sika a budget for a certain program e be delayed and I say e be back and forth it affects everything planning.
Sure.
Nyentum.
And
your sense say they couldn't do a test run. And for instance, you procure poll vote polls, you procure timers, you procure way, you do San your man, Rich. Competitions where so I come. They do a test run of these things.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. tia hɔ na fe jaso ni akofa bia ba so chale de abaye fix na pum yen ko afi ye test ya whether eye adwumo enya adwumo na akofa nsem bebre aba na unim. You see, sometimes if you are so careful, na untuja yes, they draw conclusion easily now. You get some section of the listeners who say, "Oh, Mike, boss it." Look, within the last 2 days, some of our colleagues are the All African Games, budget, they were saying it was too much. They think that organization, based on Sike a very, very well standard organized competition. Now, me say, if I was supposed to be a normal listener, which is which?
We play double standard.
Which is which? And Rich, Mamin Kasem went to Ghana, how Mutanya. The structure of ye be or my Muebiano. Rich, a certain level of deficiency. Ghana high.
I am happy na.
Young got to seminar, Papa. The seminar no Abusia. Eddie Jari a Moankasamos and Pamone Seminar Papa Jari. Seminar, the money Papa, seminar no, and Bambo I dema with dear. A born who by free bacteria and a fungi, a walk when many a for any in and crack school, Mako Yomu, Mako dear grow, open you up, Juma Benfi Fratil, and near the open seminar be ye fino, name one more beyond for new a lax seminar, and a Unilever for a year, say Emranema boy and by essay sham. Na samna so a uto a che ansana asa nti mo bia pe dware kra by force nti se mesrew onu abusia mo pesa me na mo de be dware na ebema mo sa good feeling ni sampa mo de samna papa dware a na mama na lax from Unilever for no some varieties be brave nti depending on the flavor open no okwa wonsa ebetimi akabi bebi e ton se me na bia okwa wonsa ebetimi aka na mo so opedodo to a na wa fresh 0240 219191 0240-219191. Say open deodorant so ede ego omo to na ama ene enen efineko we feel confident na won ye sham na normanioma bank of nkofo complaining kan any ade no undia untibia e Rexona almost 72 hours deodorant no e the number 1 deodorant e wo yase who used to be a one kasankasa we dia dance and media dance no would go 3 days na bon ho ban bacteria na men fifre ba nipa ho no e man fifre no mpo entew na amanka aba ho e Rexona 72 hours no e na eyesa adwuma no e bon ho ban kama e sham so would go ho wow timu sampa o wan hwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehwehw first day na Mr. Baby a ton deodorant biano okwa wonsa ebetimi akabi sa open dodo atu na so open dodo ata commerces anoche plaza ewe dum opposite Boss FM Daddy Ash ewo ho obema obi ato betimi afred Daddy Ash ewo 0531013881 uko beauty glow ho Asampa pharmacy I ben PZ hono or shop mienu ewo ho uko KJT Dubai store number G1549 I ben police station na and I say KJT opposite gate 8 sa da na CBG ewo na beauty glow ewo ho benya dodo and I say bebre etuba be e ton deodorant bia no kwa onsa ebetimi aka regular 72 hours ne bi na onso so we use no kama
and a special birthday edema Mr. Larry Apiaje on air boche edema Nkranza Kwabre Community Bank way air from Multimedia Kumase Labnin Chef in Dinano. Yes, say Mr. Larry Apiaje, happy birthday to you, boss. Nyami show. Na onyo kesepa na special day in your life. In fact, the okra appreciate bia nyankopon enyeni na emfa emma amen. Second one Mr. Alex Tias Diamond on SCU at the Yellow and Orange Pharmacy, Kumasi, we are from management and staff of Multimedia Group. Yedinani Akabum, Mr. Atiase baby a no happy birthday nyame nhyira na onkoso a enya wo kese de de wakoma so bia nyankopon enya ni nyina enso emfa emma ena no pay happy birthday de twato kra no aye me ankasa me nua pani Fifi Walker ene aye Fifi the wife I feno kuku Linda our Texas our US abrochimem ene aye o birthday husband Fifi as I show happy birthday the love is deep so do pa na nyakopon enye wakoma so di ni na enso emfa emma happy birthday etefo edemasia yakofa adomkase no ede abremo nyame adoma yebesan enemu ehia yekoba ya no obra ato anjumadi no ebeto aso enso ede amamo yakramo